Chapter 2742. Lord Pei? In the pavilion in the backyard of the fourth prince's temporary imperial residence, the two men who were sitting in front of a stone table instinctively looked at each other after listening to the old man's report. Their eyes widened in unison. Are you sure they're looking for Lord Pei? Long Xiangyun, the fourth prince, asked in a deep voice after he regained his senses. Your Highness, you should know that Lord Pei is a celestial duke. I didn't dare to follow them too close to Lord Pei's mansion. The old man smiled bitterly. A celestial duke would be able to detect his presence as long as he was close enough. Once he was discovered, unless the celestial duke was merciful enough to forgive him, he would be crippled even if he did not die. All right, you can leave now. Long Xiangyun waved his hand, and the old man left. If Duan Lingtian were here, he would definitely recognize the old man. The old man who had left was none other than the old man who had accompanied Long Xiangyun and Zhou Shudong, the fourth miss of the Zhou clan, to look for him at the Fleeting Time Inn. Similar to the old man who accompanied Long Qingyun, the seventh prince, this old man was a heaven-rank great overarching golden celestial who was given to Long Xiangyun by the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Fourth brother, it seems like our 13th brother is really restless. Not only is he close to a disciple from a sect outside the wasteland, but he even brought that person to look for Lord Pei. What's he trying to do? The old man who was sitting next to Long Xiangyun was none other than Long Qingyun, the seventh prince. Long Qingyun's eyes flashed with killing intent when he reached the end of his sentence. 13th brother probably doesn't dare to bring that person to look for Lord Pei. If he really brought that person to look for him, it means Lord Pei wants to see that person. Long Xiangyun speculated. His expression was unsightly as well. If it weren't for Lord Pei, he would have died a long time ago. He wouldn't be able to act so arrogantly in front of us now. Long Qingyun said in a deep voice. Let's not talk about what happened back then. Father is unhappy about that matter as well. He clearly told us that if we kill 13th brother again, we won't be able to become the emperor, Long Xiangyun said. Long Xiangyun said. In the end, Imperial Father still thinks that 13th brother might be his own son. Fortunately, he can't be 100% sure that 13th brother is his son. Otherwise, I'm afraid we wouldn't have any business here. He had to admit that he was inferior to his 13th brother in all aspects. Based on Long Xiangyun's words, the person who almost killed the 13th prince was sent by him and Long Qingyun. When the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom found out about it, he scolded the two of them. After that, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom paid a visit to the white-clad young man who had saved Long Fei Yun. After confirming that the white-clad young man was a celestial duke and would not interfere with the inheritance of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was relieved. Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun had heard about this from their father, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. 13th brother, and that person might not have gone to meet Lord Pei. Moreover, so what if they went to meet Lord Pei? Lord Pei has already made it clear to Imperial Father that he won't interfere with the inheritance of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. A celestial duke like him won't go back on his words, Long Xiangyun said. Long Xiangyun said. Even if he goes back on his words, he still has to consider the Martial Dragon Celestial sect. So what if he's a celestial duke? Do you think he's a match for the Martial Dragon Celestial sect and the other two celestial sects? The rule that celestial dukes are not allowed to interfere with the inheritance of the celestial kingdoms in the wasteland was set by the three major celestial sects, including the Martial Dragon Celestial sect. If he breaks the rule, the Martial Dragon Celestial sect, the Tai Yi Celestial sect, and the Thousand Spiders Celestial sect won't let him go. Long Qingyun snorted coldly. In my opinion, he only made such a statement in front of Imperial Father because he's afraid of the Martial Dragon Celestial sect, the Tai Yi Celestial sect, and the Thousand Spiders Celestial sect. That must be the case. The Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom isn't enough to deter a celestial duke like him. Long Xiangyun chimed in. I heard the fourth miss of the Zhou clan went to the Thousand Spiders Celestial sect to look for the third miss of the Zhou clan? Long Qingyun suddenly asked as he looked at Long Xiangyun. Yes. Long Xiangyun was not surprised that Long Qingyun knew about this matter. After all, His cousin had always acted rashly. It was only natural that everyone knew about her visit to the Thousand Spiders celestial sect. It shouldn't be difficult for the third miss of the Zhou clan to investigate the young man with the surname Duan. Long Qing Yun narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. We'll find out soon enough, Long Xiang Yun said indifferently. Long Xiang Yun said in an indifferent tone. Although he spoke as if he didn't care, his expectant gaze betrayed the urgency in his heart. Time continued to pass by. In just a blink of an eye, half a year had passed. As one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland, the Thousand Spiders celestial sect controlled one of the three primitive celestial crystal veins in the wasteland. Although the three primitive celestial crystal veins in the wasteland were small, they could not be compared to a supreme-grade celestial stone vein. No matter how big a supreme-grade celestial stone vein was, it could not be compared to the three primitive celestial crystal veins. The Thousand Spiders celestial sex estate was located near one of the primitive celestial crystal veins. For this reason, the heaven and earth spirit energy in the Thousand Spiders celestial sex estate was extremely dense. This was especially true in the area near the primitive celestial crystal veins where the high-ranking officials and core disciples of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect cultivated. At this moment, in a spacious courtyard located halfway up a mountain where one of the core disciples cultivated, a beautiful figure stood next to the rockery in the courtyard. She was holding a communication celestial talisman in her hand. As soon as the communication celestial talisman disappeared, she received the message. It's him. After the communication celestial talisman disappeared, the woman standing next to the rockery had a strange expression on her face. Third sister, is there any news? At this moment, another beautiful figure walked over to the woman standing next to the rockery and asked with an expectant expression on her face. If Duan Lingtian was here, he would be able to recognize this woman with just a glance. She was none other than Zhou Shudong, the fourth miss of Zhou clan, who had wanted to forcefully bring him back to the Zhou clan to be her boy toy. The woman standing next to the rockery was, naturally, the third miss of Zhou clan. She was the direct disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect and the junior sister of the current sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect, Zhou Shuqiu. Although they were sisters, Zhou Shuqiu was far more beautiful than Zhou Shudong in terms of figure and appearance. Most importantly, Zhou Shuqiu's temperament was far superior to Zhou Shudong's. In front of Zhou Shuqiu, Zhou Shudong was like a little maid. In the future, don't think about seeking revenge from him and offending him, Zhou Shuqiu said as she looked at Zhou Shuqiu. Zhou Shuqiu looked at Zhou Shudong, who had an expectant expression on her face, and said in a deep voice, "Otherwise, don't blame me for not avenging you even if he kills you." Third sister, is his background really that powerful? As soon as Zhou Shuqiu finished speaking, Zhou Shudong's complexion turned deathly pale. However, she was still somewhat unwilling to give up and asked, "I don't want to repeat my words," Zhou Shuqiu said. After a while, Zhou Shuqiu seemed to realize that her words were a little too harsh. She looked at Zhou Shudong, whose face was ashen, and said, "Dong-er, the conflict between you and him in the past was all because of you. He's already being merciful by not killing you. Don't make an enemy out of him in the future." "I understand, third sister," Zhou Shudong quickly replied. Zhou Shudong hurriedly responded, but she also made up her mind. She no longer wanted to retaliate against the purple-clad young man she hated to the bone. "Go back to your room. I'll send you back to your clan in 2 days," Zhou Shuqiu said. Zhou Shudong complied and went back to her room obediently. She obeyed her third sister Zhou Shuqiu's every word. What a coincidence. He's actually in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. After Zhou Shudong left, Zhou Shuqiu shook her head again. Then, her eyes glinted as she said curiously, "I'd like to see what kind of man he is. He took advantage of Bing-er and made Bing-er ask me to take care of him. However, Bing-er's man isn't simple. Even a celestial duke from the compassionate celestial traveler sect managed to find him, but he still managed to escape. I wonder where he obtained the Shadow Void escaping talisman inscribed by a celestial king. If Bing-er finds out there's a woman by his side, I wonder if she'll be jealous." Zhou Shuqiu muttered to herself. As Zhou Shuqiu muttered to herself, A hint of a smile appeared in her beautiful eyes. Based on Zhou Shuqiu's words, it was obvious she knew Morongbing, the disciple of the compassionate celestial traveler sect. Moreover, she seemed to have a close relationship with Morongbing. Based on Zhou Shuqiu's words, it was clear she had learned a lot about Duanling Tian. At the very least, she had learned about what had happened to Duanling Tian during the martial competition of the 16 counties held in King Qin's mansion under the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom through the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect's intelligence network. Fortunately, he didn't kill Dong Er. Otherwise, even if Bing Er asked me to protect him, I wouldn't have let him go so easily. Thinking of this, Zhou Shuqiu's eyes revealed a hint of relief, but there was also a hint of coldness mixed in. Zhou Shudong, who had returned to her room, was unaware of this. In fact, the purple-clad young man whom she hated to the core did not come from a powerful sect outside of the wasteland. Her third sister had told her not to provoke the purple-clad young man, because the purple-clad young man was a purple-clad young man. That purple-clothed young man was her third sister's best friend, who was like a real sister to her. She asked her to take care of and protect the man. Sometimes, the world was small. Chapter 2743. I'm so close to breaking through and becoming a violet sun golden celestial. Once I become a violet sun golden celestial, I'll only need one great overarching pill to break through and become a great overarching golden celestial in a short time. After becoming a great overarching golden celestial, I'll only need to consume a large amount of great overarching pills to increase my cultivation base. Of course, the effects of the great overarching pills become less and less effective as time goes by. For example, a heaven-rank great overarching golden celestial won't have much of an effect after consuming a great overarching pill. In the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's Imperial Palace, Duanling Tian, who was sitting cross-legged on the bed, suddenly opened his eyes. A bright light flashed in his eyes like a shooting star streaking across the night sky. After half a year, Duanling Tian was finally close to becoming a violet sun golden celestial with Huan Er's help. He was confident that he would be able to break through and become a violet sun golden celestial in just a short while. Brother Ling Tian, you're awake? A pleasant voice rang in Duanling Tian's ears as soon as he opened his eyes. It was none other than Huan Er, who had been cultivating with her back facing him. She had also woken up from her cultivation when Duanling Tian woke up. She immediately turned around to face Duanling Tian. Yes. Duanling Tian nodded and turned around to face Huan Er. Although Duanling Tian had seen Huan Er's beautiful face countless times, he still could not help but feel a ripple in his heart when he saw her again. Huan Er was simply too beautiful. She was so beautiful that words could not describe her beauty. Perhaps he would not be able to find another woman as beautiful as her in this world. Huan Er, how long was I in closed-door cultivation this time? After taking a deep breath, Duanling Tian asked, What's the matter? Brother Ling Tian, you've been in closed-door cultivation for half a year. Huan Er replied with a smile. Only half a year? Duanling Tian was slightly surprised. He smiled faintly as he thought to himself, It seems like I have a chance to become a violet sun golden celestial before the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom selects the young powerhouses below the age of 100 to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest. Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. As he spoke, Duanling Tian's eyes couldn't help but light up like two bright stars in the night sky. Once he became a great overarching golden celestial, not only would his strength improve, but his primitive celestial fire would also be upgraded to a mediocre celestial fire. That was what he had been waiting for a long time. Big Brother Ling Tian, you promised to take me out to eat, drink, and have fun. Are you going back on your word? In just a blink of an eye, Huan Er's expression changed to a pitiful one. Duanling Tian's heart ached when he saw this. He hastily explained, Ling Tian, of course, I won't go back on my word. Big Brother Ling Tian, why don't you take me out to eat and have fun? All right. As soon as Duanling Tian finished speaking, the pitiful expression on Huan Er's face disappeared and was replaced with excitement. She looked like a child who had not grown up yet. You little girl. Duanling Tian smiled helplessly when he saw the change in Huan Er's expression. He did not seem to have taught Huan Er these things. Naturally, he He was not surprised that Huan knew these things. In the past, when he was shopping with Huan, there were many women who would look pitiful and tearful, forcing their male companions to submit to their demands. Huan had completely mastered this tactic. Huan do you have the concealment pendant I gave you 6 months ago? Duan Lingtian asked. Big brother Lingtian, I have it with me. Huan placed her hand on her belt and took out a jade pendant that was originally hidden there. It was the concealment pendant that Duan Lingtian had obtained from the white-clad young man with the surname Pei. It could conceal the aura of Huan-Er's flesh and blood if she was younger than 100 years old. Duan Lingtian extended his divine consciousness and shrouded Huan-Er's body. Although he could sense Huan-Er's flesh and blood, he could not tell she was younger than 100 years old. This concealment pendant is pretty good. I can still sense Huan-Er's flesh and blood, but I can't tell she's younger than 100 years old. Duan Lingtian sighed. After putting on the veil and hat, Duan Lingtian brought Huan-Er out of the courtyard of the 13th prince's residence. After bidding farewell to Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, they prepared to leave the imperial palace as well. Brother Duan, are you and Miss Huan going out? Long Fei Yun smiled and said, It's been a while since I left the palace. Why don't I tag along? With Qiuling around, you'll be safer. Although Long Fei Yun knew the woman by Duan Lingtian's side was not weak, he was still worried that something would happen to Duan Lingtian and Huan in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. For this reason, he tactfully suggested bringing Qiuling along to protect them. Naturally, if Duan Lingtian refused, he would still send Qiuling to protect them in the dark, even though he would no longer accompany them. Huan, what do you think? Duan Lingtian looked at Huan and asked for her opinion. Does the 13th prince want to tag along? Brother Lingtian, does he want to tag along with us? At that time, he'll be able to pay for the celestial stones we need to buy and eat? Huan asked as she looked at Duan Lingtian like a money grubber. Duan Lingtian was speechless when he heard Huan-Er's words. When did this last become so, housekeeping? Don't worry, Miss Huan-Er. I'll tag along. I'll pay for everything. Duan Lingtian was rendered speechless by Long Fei Yun's question. Long Fei Yun laughed and said, You're right. In that case, I'll reluctantly allow you to tag along with us. Huan said. The corner of Long Fei Yun's mouth twitched. He was, after all, the 13th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Why was he acting like a lackey now? Moreover, it seemed like he was only allowed to be a lackey because of Huan-Er's kindness. However, when he thought about Huan-Er's strength, he did not feel dissatisfied at all. Although Duan Lingtian didn't tell him about this woman's origin, based on his guess, this woman's background was absolutely not simple. What a joke. How could a profound rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, who was not even 100 years old, be simple? Just like that, the original group of 2 people eating, drinking, and having fun had 2 more people. Duan Lingtian spent the next month accompanying Huan as they toured the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Long Fei Yun and Qiuling, the 13th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, stayed by their side to ensure their safety. During this month, Duan Lingtian was in a good mood when he saw how happy Huan was. During this time, apart from accompanying Huan Duan Lingtian had also asked Huan a lot of questions. He asked her about her current cultivation base. In the end, he confirmed she was a profound rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. Although Huan has 99 heavenly veins like me, she can't raise her celestial origin energy through them. It seems like my 99 heavenly veins are able to raise my celestial origin energy by 2 levels because of the tempering in the celestial ascension pool. When Duan Lingtian thought about this, he could not help but recall Xiajia, a middle-aged man who claimed to be Ker's 3rd uncle from her past life, in the Yin Huang realm. Due to Xiajia's reminder, Duan Lingtian did not leave the celestial ascension pool immediately after he ascended to the spirit overarching heaven. Instead, he stayed in the celestial ascension pool for a while to temper his 99 heavenly veins. As a result, his 99 heavenly veins were able to raise his celestial origin energy by 2 levels. Naturally, the 2 levels referred to the increase of one celestial ascension pool. If Duan Lingtian was a violet sun golden celestial, a peak great overarching golden celestial, a peak overarching heavenly supreme celestial, or a 10-direction celestial duke. However, the 99 heavenly veins in his body were not enough to allow his celestial origin energy to advance to the next stage. Take a violet sun golden celestial, for example. If Duan Lingtian was a violet sun golden celestial, his celestial origin energy would not be as strong as a great overarching golden celestial, let alone a yellow rank great overarching golden celestial. After all, the gap between a golden celestial and a great overarching golden celestial was too wide. Even so, Duan Lingtian's celestial origin energy was still far superior to that of a great overarching golden celestial. For example, right now, although Duan Lingtian was only an indigo sun golden celestial, his celestial origin energy was much stronger than the celestial origin energy of other violet sun golden celestials after it was boosted by his 99 heavenly veins. On this day, Duan Lingtian accompanied Huan as they strolled through the streets of the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Long Fei Yun walked next to Duan Lingtian and Duan Lingtian. Xiu Ling followed closely behind them. Duan Lingtian. At this moment, a pleasant female voice rang from behind Duan Lingtian. She called out Duan Lingtian's full name. Duan Lingtian was not surprised that someone had called out his full name. After all, Huan had been calling him Brother Lingtian and Long Fei Yun had been calling him Brother Duan. Therefore, it was not difficult to guess his name if one paid attention to them. Duan Lingtian turned around and looked at the person who had called out to him. Third Miss Zhou. Chapter 2744. Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up immediately when he saw the person who had called out to him. Apart from Huan and Morong Bing, she was the most beautiful woman he had seen in the spirit overarching heaven since he had arrived in the Devata realm. The woman wore a light green robe. She had dark eyebrows, almond-shaped eyes, and a high nose. Coupled with her cherry lips and her nearly perfect facial features, she was like a finely crafted work of art. With just a glance, one would have a pleasing feeling. Duan Lingtian was certain this was his first time meeting this woman. However, he was familiar with the woman standing next to her. She was none other than Zhou Shudong, the fourth miss of the Zhou clan. Duan Lingtian was surprised. There was no hatred in Zhou Shudong's eyes when she looked at him. Instead, there was a hint of fear and panic in her eyes. It was as though she regarded him as a ferocious beast. Third miss. At the same time, Long Fei Yun's voice rang in Duan Lingtian's ears. He knew the woman standing next to Zhou Shudong was none other than Zhou Shudong's sister, the third miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shuqiu. Half a year ago, Long Fei Yun had heard about this woman from the 13th prince. Apart from being the third miss of the Zhou clan, she was also the last disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial sect. Third miss, I didn't expect to see you here. I remember you. Ever since you joined the Thousand Spiders Celestial sect, you've been elusive. It's hard for others to even meet you. I didn't expect to see you here. I'm really lucky. Although Long Fei Yun knew Zhou Shuqiu was here for Duan Lingtian, he quickly smiled and took the initiative to greet Zhou Shuqiu. You must be joking, 13th prince. I'm usually with master and rarely return to the capital. Zhou Shuqiu smiled. After she finished speaking, she glanced at Zhou Shudong and said indifferently, Dong have you forgotten what I told you? Upon hearing Zhou Shuqiu's words, Zhou Shudong's body trembled slightly. She quickly stepped forward and bowed slightly as she looked at Duan Lingtian. I'm sorry. It's my fault. HM? Although this was not the first time Zhou Shudong had apologized to him, Duan Lingtian could clearly sense that Zhou Shudong did not seem reluctant at all. It was as though she was willing to apologize to him. This greatly surprised him. One ought to know that when the fourth prince, Long Xiang Yun, had asked Zhou Shudong to apologize to him, she had only apologized perfunctorily. Moreover, her eyes were filled with unwillingness. Before Duan Lingtian could reply, Zhou Shuqiu looked at Duan Lingtian and asked, Duan Lingtian, may I have a word with you? Before Duan Lingtian could reply, Long Fei Yun's expression changed drastically. He looked at Zhou Shuqiu and said in a deep voice, Third miss, is there anything you can't say here? If you think there are too many people, I can ask Qiu Ling to clear the area. As soon as Long Fei Yun finished speaking, he turned to look at Qiu Ling and nodded. In the next moment, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Whoosh! Waves of boundless power swept out from Qiu Ling's body, turning into gusts of wild wind that swept in all directions. The surrounding people were all pushed far away, but they were not hurt. This was a testament to Qiu Ling's ability to control his energy. For a time, the bustling area was deserted. What's going on? What's going on? Among the group of people who had been pushed far away, apart from a small number of people, most of them had no idea what was going on and were all dumbfounded. However, although they did not know what happened, they could clearly feel that the power just now was invincible. For this reason, they still felt a lingering fear. Isn't that His Highness, the 13th Prince? When the crowd regained their senses, they quickly recognized Long Fei Yun, the 13th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. That's the 4th Miss of the Zhou clan. Soon after, someone recognized Zhou Shudong, that purple-clad young man and the woman wearing a veil next to him. I've seen them before. They're the ones who killed the Zhou clan's elder and injured the 4th Miss of the Zhou clan 6 months ago. It's them? Is the 4th Miss of the Zhou clan seeking revenge? It doesn't seem like it. I saw the 4th Miss of the Zhou clan apologizing to the purple-clad young man under the instruction of the woman next to her. As the crowd discussed among themselves, many of them turned to look at Zhou Shuqiu, who was standing next to Zhou Shudong. Isn't she the 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan? Soon after, a sharp-eyed old man exclaimed, although her temperament has changed a lot, her appearance hasn't changed much. She's indeed the 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan. What? The 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan? The 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan. The most beautiful woman in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom? A commotion broke out in the crowd when the sharp-eyed old man spoke. After all, the 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan was too famous. She was the most beautiful woman in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. She was the most talented person in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom in the past 1,000 years. She was the last disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. She was the junior sister of the current sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. This was the halo above the head of the Zhou clan's 3rd young miss, Boundless Glory. While everyone's attention was on Zhou Shuqiu, she glanced at Long Fei Yun indifferently and said, 13th Prince, I have something to say to Duan Lingtian in private. It's inconvenient even for my sister to listen. Zhou Shuqiu's words were clear. Even her sister, Zhou Shudong, would have to listen to her when she spoke to Duan Lingtian in private. What if I don't allow Brother Duan to come with you? Long Fei Yun asked in a deep voice as his expression turned cold. Although Zhou Shuqiu was from the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect, she was still in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. As the Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he was protected by the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. Even the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect would not dare to touch him without a valid reason. Moreover, although Zhou Shuqiu was not weak, she had Qiu Ling, a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial by her side. Swoosh! As soon as Long Fei Yun finished speaking, Qiu Ling, who was standing behind Long Fei Yun, suddenly appeared in front of Duan Lingtian. He shielded Duan Lingtian behind him as he stared at Zhou Shuqiu fiercely. Not long ago, I heard that the 13th Prince recruited a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. Zhou Shuqiu narrowed her eyes when she saw Qiu Ling standing between her and Duan Lingtian. In the next moment, whoosh! A surge of powerful celestial origin energy surged out of Zhou Shuqiu's body, causing her green robe to flutter even though there was no wind. Even the dust on the ground was swept away by her celestial origin energy. She's a heaven-rank overarching, heavenly supreme celestial as well? Qiu Ling's expression changed drastically when he sensed Zhou Shuqiu's celestial origin energy. Just as Qiu Ling's expression changed drastically, Zhou Shuqiu's figure flashed, and she seemed to have disappeared into thin air. In Duan Lingtian's eyes, Zhou Shuqiu had disappeared into thin air. Bang! As soon as Duan Lingtian saw Qiu Ling's figure swaying, a muffled sound rang in his ears again. Then, he saw Zhou Shuqiu standing before him. Unknowingly, Zhou Shuqiu had appeared in front of Qiu Ling. She was wearing a glove that looked like it was made of spider silk. With a flip of her hand, waves of aura pressed down on Qiu Ling's body like Mount Tai. Qiu Ling, on the other hand, had taken out his celestial weapon and was struggling to withstand Zhou Shuqiu's palm strike. He knelt down on one knee, and wherever his knee touched, the ground cracked like a spider web, and the cracks continued to spread out in all directions. Get lost. Before everyone, including Duan Ling Tian, could react, Zhou Shuqiu said in a low voice, "Let's go." As soon as Zhou Shuqiu finished speaking, the waves of energy that were crashing down on Qiu Ling changed direction. Boom! The Gang Qi changed direction and hit Qiu Ling, sending him flying into the distance and crashing into the ground. Qiu Ling's qi and blood were in turmoil, and he was in a sorry state. At this moment, the people present on the scene finally regained their senses. Did the third miss of the Zhou clan say that the person next to the 13th prince is a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial? I think so. Heavens! The third miss of the Zhou clan easily suppressed a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. Does this mean she's stronger than a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial? I'm sure the third miss of the Zhou clan is stronger than a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. However, her cultivation base might not be higher than her opponent's. Indeed, even if the third miss of the Zhou clan is a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, it's easy for her to defeat an unorthodox heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. After all, her master is the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect. Her celestial methods and divine abilities must be earth-grade. Duan Lingtian heard the discussions from afar. It gave him a new understanding of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. The three major celestial sects of the wasteland already have earth-grade celestial methods and divine abilities? Duan Lingtian's expression turned solemn when he heard this. He realized his current situation was not as good as before. His advantage in terms of celestial methods and divine abilities was getting smaller and smaller. Among the celestial methods and divine abilities he had mastered, only the assist-type divine ability, the elementary devouring tactic, was a heaven-grade divine ability. Chapter 2745. Why UVE broken through and become a heaven stage overarching heavenly supreme celestial? Long Fei Yun exclaimed in shock when he saw Zhou Shuqiu. Although he knew Zhou Shuqiu had a high innate talent and was already an overarching heavenly supreme celestial, he did not expect her to have broken through and become a heaven stage overarching heavenly supreme celestial. This was what Qiu Ling had told him through voice transmission. Long Fei Yun was not surprised that Qiu Ling, who was also a heaven stage overarching heavenly supreme celestial, was easily defeated by Zhou Shuqiu. After all, Zhou Shuqiu was the last disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect. Her cultivation methods, celestial methods, and divine abilities were at least earth-grade. On the other hand, although Qiu Ling was a heaven stage overarching heavenly supreme celestial, his cultivation method was only earth-grade. His celestial methods and divine abilities were only profound-grade celestial methods and divine abilities. Moreover, Zhou Shuqiu's innate talent far surpassed Qiu Ling's. This meant she had more heavenly veins than Qiu Ling. This meant she could circulate her celestial origin energy faster. Therefore, it was only natural Qiu Ling was no match for Zhou Shuqiu. I just had a breakthrough recently. Hearing Long Fei Yun's exclamation, Zhou Shuqiu glanced at him indifferently and said unhurriedly. Then, she ignored Long Fei Yun. She shifted her gaze to Duan Lingtian again. A hint of surprise could be seen in her eyes. She originally thought that even if Duan Lingtian didn't lose his head out of fear after she made a move earlier, it would definitely be impossible for him to be as calm as before. It did not cross her mind that Duan Lingtian still had a calm expression on his face even until now. Isn't he afraid at all? Zhou Shuqiu thought to herself. After a few moments, Zhou Shuqiu seemed to have thought of something. A beautiful smile appeared on her face as she said, "You're right. A man who can make Bing care about him must be extraordinary. Lead the way." Duan Lingtian said as he looked at Zhou Shuqiu calmly. "Brother Duan." Long Fei Yun's expression changed greatly. He felt that Zhou Shuqiu wouldn't find Duan Lingtian for anything good, so he didn't want Duan Lingtian to go with Zhou Shuqiu. Brother Lingtian. Her perfect face, hidden by the veil and hat, paled slightly. She reached out and grabbed Duan Lingtian's arm tightly, as if she would never let go. Don't worry, big brother Ling Tian will be back soon. He'll be fine, Duan Ling Tian said with a smile as he gently patted Huan Er's hand. Big brother Ling Tian, I'm useless and stupid. If I could master all the celestial methods and divine abilities in my inherited memories, she wouldn't be a match for me. However, even if I'm weaker than her now, I'm not afraid of her. A hint of determination flashed in the depths of her eyes when she spoke to Duan Ling Tian through voice transmission. As a thousand phantoms ice fox that only appeared once in a million years in the Phantom Fox clan, she had no lack of secret techniques that would allow her to die together with the woman in front of her in order to protect her brother Ling Tian. However, Duan Ling Tian was unaware of this. This was because Duan Ling Tian had reminded her not to reveal the fact that she possessed a legacy memory. She had to communicate with him through voice transmission instead of saying it out loud. Naturally, she remembered Duan Lingtian's words. Huaner, she really has something to discuss with Big Brother Ling Tian. If she wants to harm Big Brother Ling Tian, she can do it here. There's no need for her to go somewhere else. Duan Ling Tian patted Huan Er's hand again to make sure she had calmed down. Then, he gently removed her hand from his arm. It was as though he was caressing a flower, afraid a petal would fall from it. Zhou Shuqiu frowned when she saw Duan Lingtian's actions. In her heart, to a certain extent, she had already determined that this man was her best friend's man. She was slightly displeased when she saw Duan Lingtian treating another woman so gently. I don't have much time to waste here. Zhou Shuqiu's expression darkened as she said coldly. At this moment, a hint of disgust could be seen in Zhou Shuqiu's eyes as she looked at Duan Lingtian. She thought to herself, I really don't understand why Bing would fall for such a playboy. Even if he's not at fault, there's no need for Bing to care about him. She should have just left him to his own devices. To think that Bing asked me to protect him when he was targeted by the compassionate celestial traveler sect, I really feel bad for her. Zhou Shuqiu thought to herself. I'm coming. Duan Lingtian nodded indifferently when he heard Zhou Shuqiu's words. Then, he comforted her and told her to wait for him. He promised that he would be back soon. Following that, Duan Lingtian nodded at Long Fei Yun before he walked toward Zhou Shuqiu. Zhou Shuqiu led Duan Lingtian through several streets before they finally arrived at an empty alley. After making sure there was no one around, Zhou Shuqiu came to a halt. Aren't you worried that I'll harm you if you follow me? Zhou Shuqiu asked with a cold expression on her face as she looked at Duan Lingtian who had stopped moving. If you want to harm me, is there a need for you to bring me here? Duan Lingtian responded with a question. That's true. Although Zhou Shuqiu agreed with Duan Lingtian's words, she still admired Duan Lingtian's courage. At the very least, from the beginning until she injured the heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, his expression did not change at all. Just this kind of courage and guts was enough to make her admire him. I didn't expect this playboy to have such courage. At this moment, Zhou Shuqiu's disgust for Duan Lingtian lessened a little. She felt that this fickle man did have some redeeming qualities. If Duan Lingtian knew what Zhou Shuqiu was thinking, he would have laughed bitterly. How did he become a playboy? If he was really a playboy, he would have at least 8 or 10 women, if not a few dozens. Duan Lingtian is from the Nine Spectres County, one of the 16 counties under King Qin's mansion of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom. Zhou Shuqiu looked at Duan Lingtian and said slowly. Duan Lingtian, on the other hand, listened with a calm expression. Although he appeared calm on the surface, his heart was in turmoil. The Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect is indeed one of the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland. What a powerful intelligence network. In just half a year's time, Zhou Shuqiu has already figured out everything about me. However, as Zhou Shuqiu continued to speak, Duan Lingtian realized there were many things she did not know about him. For example, she did not know he had ascended to the spirit overarching heaven less than 10 years ago. She also did not know about Huan Er's origin. Nevertheless, he was still shocked that Zhou Shuqiu was able to find out so much about him through the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect's intelligence network. Since you found out about me, why did you ask your sister to apologize to me? You could have killed me to avenge her. With your strength, You can even defeat the heaven rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial by the 13th prince's side. It's easy for you to kill me, Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Zhou Shuqiu. He could not figure it out. Since Zhou Shuqiu had found out about him, why did she not want to kill him? Naturally, I have my reasons for not killing you. You'll find out in the future. Zhou Shuqiu did not intend to tell Duan Lingtian about her relationship with Morongbing, a disciple of the compassionate celestial traveler sect. She paused for a moment before she asked, "Why did the powerhouse from the compassionate celestial traveler sect want to kill you? Is it true that you're from a sect that's hostile to the compassionate celestial traveler sect?" It seems like Zhou Shuqiu didn't kill me because she's worried I'm a disciple from a powerful sect outside the wasteland. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. At this moment, all the doubts in his heart disappeared. "What do you think?" Duan Lingtian responded with a question. "I don't think so." Zhou Shuqiu looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully before she said, "Through the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect's intelligence network, I found out the reason the compassionate celestial traveler sect sent a powerhouse to kill you is related to Morongbing." Morongbing. Duan Lingtian's heart skipped a beat when he heard Zhou Shuqiu mention Morongbing. His eyes were filled with shock as he looked at Zhou Shuqiu. He did not expect the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect would be able to find out about this. "Can you tell me what happened between you and Morongbing? Why would the compassionate celestial traveler sect send a celestial duke to kill you for her?" Zhou Shuqiu asked. "I can't tell you that," Duan Lingtian said indifferently. "I heard that Morongbing originally had hopes of becoming the next sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect. However, since she lost her virginity, she's not destined to be the next sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect." Zhou Shuqiu paused for a moment when she spoke. Duan Lingtian's eyes brightened when he heard her words. Initially, he thought the sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect had to sever all ties with men. It did not cross his mind that the sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect would not allow a non-virgin disciple to become the next sect leader. If that was the case, it would be a good thing for him. At the very least, Morongbing would not be able to become the sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect. He did not want Morongbing to sever her 7 emotions and 6 desires after becoming the sect leader of the compassionate celestial traveler sect. After all, she was his woman after all. However, I heard that the compassionate celestial traveler sect arranged a marriage for her. I heard the other party is a good-for-nothing young master from a great clan that's slightly stronger than the compassionate celestial traveler sect. It's a pity, Zhou Shuqiu said. Zhou Shuqiu sighed when she reached the end of her sentence. A marriage? Chapter 2746. When he had realized that he and Morongbing had slept together, he had already decided that Morongbing was his woman, and she could only be his woman. However, Zhou Shuqiu was telling him now. The compassionate celestial traveler sect had arranged a marriage for Morongbing. In just a blink of an eye, Duan Lingtian's face turned gloomy. It was so gloomy that it seemed as though water would drip from it. "Are you telling the truth?" Duan Lingtian asked in a deep voice as he stared at Zhou Shuqiu coldly. "What do you mean by that?" Zhou Shuqiu asked, even though she knew the answer. She pretended not to understand Duan Lingtian's words. "Is it true that the compassionate celestial traveler sect arranged a marriage for Morongbing?" Duan Lingtian asked again. "Is there a need for me to lie to you?" Zhou Shuqiu glanced at Duan Lingtian indifferently before a strange expression appeared on her face. "Why do I feel like you're particularly agitated when I mention the compassionate celestial traveler sect arranged a marriage for Morongbing? Don't tell me you're the man who raped Morongbing? I don't think it's you. You're so weak. There's no way Morongbing would fall for you." Zhou Shuqiu shook her head when she finished speaking. "Humph." Upon hearing Zhou Shuqiu's words, Duan Lingtian scoffed before he turned around and left, ignoring Zhou Shuqiu. At the same time, a raging fire burned in his heart. The compassionate celestial traveler sect? If you dare to arrange a marriage between my woman and another man, I'll annihilate your entire sect. At the same time, Duan Lingtian swore in his heart. At this moment, He desperately wanted to be strong enough to snatch Murong Bing away from the compassionate celestial traveler sect. Duan Lingtian was not worried that Zhou Shuqiu would kill him when he left. He didn't care whether Zhou Shuqiu thought he had a powerful backer or not. He knew that even if Zhou Shuqiu wanted to kill him, there would be someone who would stop her. That person was the white-robed young man with the surname Pei who had made a deal with him half a year ago. Currently, the white-clad young man's royal-grade celestial weapon, the mystical Yang 9 water chestnut ring, was still in his possession. Moreover, the white-clad young man wanted him to retrieve the other royal-grade celestial weapon, the mystical E9 water chestnut ring, from the little world left behind by the celestial king. At the very least, before he obtained the mystical E9 water chestnut ring for the other party would not let others kill him so easily. He had realized this half a year ago. At that time, he knew he had a life-saving talisman in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Moreover, the talisman was so strong that even the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom would not be able to destroy it. Not to mention a mere Zhou Shuqiu. He does have some temper. Zhou Shuqiu did not stop Duan Lingtian from leaving. Instead, she looked at Duan Lingtian's back as a smile appeared on her face. It seems like he still cares about Bing. He has a sense of responsibility, but it's a pity he's such a playboy. If Bing finds out he's flirting with another woman, I wonder what she'll think. Zhou Shuqiu shook her head as she muttered to herself. A hint of displeasure could be seen in her eyes as she looked at Duan Lingtian's back. Huan Duan Lingtian did not wait for Huan to speak before he said, I want to go back and cultivate. Do you want to continue shopping with the 13th prince and the others, or do you want to come back with me? At this moment, Duan Lingtian was completely focused on his cultivation. Although Duan Lingtian wanted Huan to return with him, since she was the one who provided him with the best cultivation environment in the divine crystals, Duan Lingtian did not want her to leave with him. Although the cultivation environment in the 13th Prince's Palace was not bad, it was still lacking compared to the cultivation environment created by Huan's divine crystal. Brother Lingtian, I'll go back with you. Although Huan did not know why Duan Lingtian was in such a hurry to go back to cultivate, she still wanted to go back with Duan Lingtian. After all, she only felt happy when she was with Duan Lingtian. If she was alone with someone else, she would not feel happy even if she had food, drinks, and fun. Duan Lingtian left in a hurry with Huan. Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, hurriedly brought Xiu Ling with him as well. His heart was filled with confusion as he thought to himself, what did Zhou Shuqiu do to Brother Lingtian? Why is Brother Lingtian in such a hurry to go back to cultivate? However, on the way back, Duan Lingtian suddenly had an idea. He turned around and went to look for the white-clad young man with the surname Pei. As for Huan and the other two, Duan Lingtian asked them to go back first. Brother Pei. Upon seeing the white-clad young man, Duan Lingtian did not beat around the bush and said solemnly, I would like to ask you for a favor. What favor? The white-clad young man sat in front of a stone table in the courtyard and sipped on a cup of tea. He glanced at Duan Lingtian, who was standing nearby, and asked, I would like you to ask the compassionate celestial traveler sect to cancel the marriage between their disciple, Murong Bing, and someone from another force, even if you have to use force. Duan Lingtian said in a deep voice as his eyes flashed. Although he did not know when the compassionate celestial traveler sect would allow Murong Bing to marry someone from another force, he knew it was unrealistic to rely on himself to stop the marriage. For this reason, he thought of the white-clad young man. Although he did not know the white-clad young man's cultivation base, since the white-clad young man had a royal-grade celestial weapon, while the compassionate celestial traveler sect only had 3 king-grade celestial weapons, it would not be difficult for the white-clad young man to stop the marriage. Oh? The white-clad young man placed his teacup on the table and looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully. What's your relationship with Murong Bing, the disciple of the compassionate celestial traveler sect? Why do you want to stop the compassionate celestial traveler sect from marrying her to another force? She's my woman, Duan Lingtian said bluntly. If I don't help you, will you not help me obtain the mystical E9 water chestnut ring? The white-clad young man asked as he looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully. Of course not. Duan Lingtian hurriedly shook his head. Those are 2 separate matters. Since I've already agreed to that matter, and Big Brother Pei has given me the concealment pendant, I naturally won't go back on my word. This time, I'm looking for Big Brother Pei for a completely different reason. Duan Lingtian replied. If I help you, what will you give me in return? The white-robed young man had the posture of a businessman as he looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully and asked, I'm willing to promise you, Big Brother Pei, as long as you help me, no matter what happens in the future, as long as you say the word, I, Duan Lingtian, will definitely do anything within my power. Duan Lingtian replied, based on your words, are you trying to gain something without risking anything? The white-robed young man smiled nonchalantly. If you, Duan Lingtian, can solve it, why can't I solve it myself? Upon hearing the white-clad young man's words, Duan Lingtian fell silent despite his reluctance. Indeed, how could someone as strong as the white-clad young man in front of him possibly have a problem that he could not solve? Could it be that he was telling the white-clad young man that he had 9 heavenly veins? With 99 heavenly veins, his future would be limitless? Wouldn't that be the same as gaining something without risking anything? After all, who could be certain that he, Duan Lingtian, would not die prematurely in the future? For this reason, even he himself felt that the promise he made was not convincing at all. Forget it. Duan Lingtian fell silent. Just when he thought there was no hope left, the white-clad young man said, I can try to help you, but I'm not sure if I'll succeed. After all, I still don't know which force the compassionate celestial traveler sect is going to marry. Duan Lingtian would be grateful if you're willing to help, Brother Pei. Duan Lingtian hurriedly said, besides that, the promise I made is still valid. After he finished speaking, Duan Lingtian bade farewell to the white-clad young man and left. What an interesting fellow. The white-clad young man chuckled. After Duan Lingtian left, the white-clad young man smiled faintly and narrowed his eyes. Moreover, he's a sentimental person. A hint of sadness could be seen in the depths of the white-clad young man's eyes when he said the word sentimental. He used to be a sentimental person as well. Unfortunately, he did not have much fate with her. In the end, he could only retrieve the royal-grade celestial weapon that he had given her to comfort her soul in heaven. Although the white-clad young man had agreed to help, it did not affect Duan Lingtian's cultivation. After he returned to the 13th prince's residence in the imperial palace, he immersed himself in his cultivation. It was as though he would not come out of closed-door cultivation until he became a violet sun-golden celestial. Time continued to pass by. The day of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's imperial family selection of participants for the grand contest of the Wasteland was getting closer and closer. As the day of the imperial family selection of participants for the grand contest of the Wasteland drew closer, the number of people in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom increased. Most of the people who showed up were from the various mansions of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Some of them had come from other places to join in the fun. Perhaps they could not personally witness the selection of participants for the grand contest of the Wasteland, but they would be able to find out the results of the selection as soon as possible. The more people there were, the more chaotic it became. Naturally, Duan Lingtian, who was immersed in his cultivation, was unaware of all this. While Duan Lingtian was cultivating in closed-door cultivation, there were many things that happened in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. When Long Xiangyun, the 4th prince, learned from Zhou Shudong, the 4th miss of the Zhou clan, that Duan Lingtian had a powerful background, he no longer dared to take any chances. Even his cousin, who was the last disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect, did not dare to provoke Duan Lingtian. How could he possibly provoke Duan Lingtian? Was he tired of living? Long Xiangyun was unaware the reason Zhou Shuqiu had shown mercy to Duan Lingtian and told Zhou Shudong not to provoke him was not because Duan Lingtian had a powerful background. It was all because of her best friend. Chapter 2747. Although the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had a quota of 50 people to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest, there were many princes in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. However, there were many mansions under the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Moreover, the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had recruited many young powerhouses who were younger than 100 years old. Therefore, there was only one quota for each mansions. It was unknown if the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had intentionally assigned the task of recruiting young powerhouses below the age of 100 to the princes of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Apart from that, Duan Ling Tian had also promised that the strongest powerhouse under the age of 100 would be given a Duke-grade celestial weapon by the Crown Prince. Even in a high-rank celestial kingdom like the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, there were only a handful of Duke-grade celestial weapons. For this reason, the princes of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had spared no effort to recruit young powerhouses who were younger than 100 years old. Some of them had even promised various benefits to recruit young powerhouses. I heard that the Violet Sun Golden Celestial, who's not even 100 years old, was poached by the 7th Prince. He's now a subordinate of the 7th Prince. He'll be representing the 7th Prince in the selection for the Wasteland Grand Contest. As the date of the Wasteland Grand Contest drew near, many rumors began to spread in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Really? The Violet Sun Golden Immortal under the age of 100 that Grand Prestige Mansion was looking for was taken away by the 7th Prince? It's said that the Grand Prestige Mansion spent a lot of effort to nurture that young powerhouse. However, he's now a subordinate of the 7th Prince? At this moment, someone who was in the know said, "You don't know this." Instead of saying that the 7th Prince has recruited the Violet Sun Golden Celestial from the Grand Prestige Mansion, it's more accurate to say that the Grand Prestige Mansion has sent the Violet Sun Golden Celestial to the 7th Prince. What do you mean? Many people were puzzled. Think about it. If the Violet Sun Golden Celestial represents the Grand Prestige Mansion in the Wasteland Grand Contest, what will the Grand Prestige Mansion obtain? And if I were to represent the 7th Prince in battle and obtain first place in the selection, what would I be able to obtain for the 7th Prince? Although the reward given by the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom is generous, it can't compare to the reward given by the Prince. The former reward is an overarching heaven pill that can help one become an overarching heavenly supreme celestial. On the other hand, he'll be able to obtain a Duke-grade celestial weapon. The Duke-grade celestial weapon is secondary. If the 7th Prince's subordinates can help him obtain the title of the first prince, it'll be much easier for him to compete for the throne. The crowd could understand why the Grand Prestige Mansion gave the Violet Sun Golden Celestial, who was not even 100 years old, to the 7th Prince. If the Grand Prestige Mansion could help the 7th Prince become the next Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, the 7th Prince would definitely reward the Grand Prestige Mansion handsomely in the future. At that time, the Grand Prestige Mansion would be able to obtain more than just an overarching heaven pill. Meanwhile, the 4th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, Long Xiangyun, who had just received the news, was so angry that he smashed the cup in his hand. Grand Prestige Mansion, 7th brother, good job. You guys are really good. Long Xiangyun was so angry that his chest heaved up and down like a bellows. It took a long time for him to calm down. Previously, he had tried to poach the Violet Sun Golden Celestial weapon from the Grand Prestige Mansion. However, the Violet Sun Golden Celestial weapon from the Grand Prestige Mansion had rejected him and said he would not leave the mansion. However, in just a blink of an eye, the Violet Sun Golden Celestial weapon from the Grand Prestige Mansion had joined his 7th brother's faction. This made Long Xiangyun extremely frustrated. Meanwhile, in the 13th Prince's residence, the 4th Prince's residence received the news as well. 7th brother is really cunning. Even the Violet Sun Golden Celestial weapon from the Grand Prestige Mansion is his subordinate. It seems like he's determined to obtain the Duke-grade Celestial weapon. The 13th Prince, Long Fei-yun, sat in front of the stone table in the pavilion. He gently tapped the stone table with his hand and muttered to himself. Xiuling, who was standing behind Long Fei-yun, said indifferently when he heard Long Fei-yun's words, "However, I'm afraid the 7th Prince would never expect you to have a trump card that can suppress the Violet Sun Golden Celestial weapon. I wonder if the Emperor will bestow the Duke-grade Celestial weapon upon you when you win the selection, the 13th Prince? After all, up until now, none of the princes have a Duke-grade Celestial weapon. If you obtain the Duke-grade Celestial weapon, you'll be the first prince in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom to obtain a Duke-grade Celestial weapon." Long Fei-yun nodded. If it was a private agreement, Imperial Father might have changed his mind. However, this time, The people from the various imperial residences are present. Furthermore, the various great clans in the capital will be entering the palace to observe the selection. No matter how unwilling Imperial Father is, he cannot swallow his pride and go back on his word. Long Fei Yun's eyes glinted confidently. Based on his words, it was as though he had already obtained the Duke-grade celestial weapon. At some point, Long Fei Yun's gaze shifted in the direction of his residence. Brother Duan is a bona fide great overarching golden celestial. He became a great overarching golden celestial a year ago. Now that he has consumed a large number of great overarching pills, his strength must have improved. Previously, Duan Lingtian had asked him for a large number of great overarching pills. Even the mansions of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had a large number of great overarching pills, let alone the imperial family. Although Long Fei Yun was not favored by the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he could easily obtain a large number of great overarching pills from the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom storehouse. Even if Duan Lingtian wanted to break through and become a heaven-rank great overarching golden celestial, Long Fei Yun would be able to provide Duan Lingtian with enough great overarching pills. At the same time, in the direction of Long Fei Yun's gaze, in a room in the courtyard of a guest house, the liquid heaven and earth spirit chi filled the entire room, as if it could burst open at any time. A man and a woman were sitting on a bed with their backs facing each other. The liquid heaven and earth spirit energy was constantly flowing out from the pendant around the woman's neck. To be more precise, it was flowing out from the crystal on the pendant. The man and woman were none other than Duan Lingtian and Huan Er. Currently, there was only a month left until the selection held by the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. 2 months ago, Duan Lingtian had successfully broken through to the Violet Sun Golden Celestial stage. After he had broken through, he immediately left his room and asked Long Fei Yun for a large number of great overarching pills so that he could break through and become a great overarching golden celestial. In fact, he only needed one great overarching pill to break through and become a great overarching golden celestial. Moreover, at his current cultivation base, no matter how many great overarching pills he consumed, the effect would still be the same as consuming one great overarching pill. This was because it would take a certain amount of time to absorb the effect of the great overarching pill. However, he still took a lot of great overarching pills since he did not want to reveal his true cultivation base. I wonder what kind of soul attack the defective metal piece can withstand. If I reveal my true cultivation base, I'm afraid even Tom, Dick, and Harry would dare to attack me. The reason Duan Lingtian did not want to reveal his true cultivation base was because he had considered this point. The defective metal piece was none other than the metal piece that Duan Lingtian had brought from the mundane realm. However, Duan Lingtian was unaware that the gray flame he controlled was the Chaos Divine Flame. He was unaware that the defective metal piece was called the Profound Divine Metal by the Chaos Divine Flame and was one of the 5 divine elements. The great overarching pill is indeed worthy of being called the pass for a Violet Sun Golden Celestial to become a great overarching golden celestial. I only need one pill, and I feel like I haven't spent much time cultivating, but I'm already very close to becoming a great overarching golden celestial. I feel like I'll be able to break through and become a great overarching golden celestial in half a month at most. Duan Lingtian was in a good mood when he sensed that he was close to becoming a great overarching golden celestial. In the 7th Prince's temporary imperial residence, 2 young men sat opposite each other in front of a stone table in a pavilion at the side of the spacious front yard. One of them was Long Qingyun, the 7th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. As for the other person, he wore a black robe and had a cold expression on his face. It was as if the sky had a coffin face. Jiguang, we'll be counting on you in the selection in a month's time. Long Qingyun smiled at the cold-faced young man. The cold-faced young man was none other than the Violet Sun Golden Celestial who was less than 100 years old that Long Qingyun, the 7th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, had poached from the Grand Prestige Mansion. The truth was the same as what most people said. Fengwu Jiguang, a Violet Sun Golden Celestial who was not even 100 years old, was sent to Long Qingyun by the Grand Prestige Mansion. As long as there's no great overarching golden celestial who's less than 100 years old, You'll definitely be the first prince in the selection in a month's time." When Fengwu Jiguang spoke, his face was still cold, and his coffin face didn't change. "A great, overarching golden celestial who's less than 100 years old?" Long Qingyun smiled faintly when he heard Fengwu Jiguang's words. "There's no such person in the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. If there was a great overarching golden celestial who was less than 100 years old in the soaring dragon celestial kingdom, it was impossible for Long Qingyun, the seventh prince of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom, to not know about it." In just a blink of an eye, half a month had passed. "A great overarching golden celestial. I've finally broken through." Two figures walked out of a room in the courtyard of the 13th prince's imperial residence. Chapter 2748. The two people who came out of the room were none other than Duan Lingtian and Huan Er. The imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom will select the young powerhouses to participate in the grand contest of the Wasteland in 10 days. It's a good thing that I've become a great overarching golden celestial now. Duan Lingtian had a bright smile on his face. With his strength, even if he had not become a great overarching golden celestial, no one would be a match for him in the selection of the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Even the Violet Sun Golden Celestial, who was not even 100 years old in the Grand Prestige Mansion, would not be a match for him if he was not a great overarching golden celestial. Apart from the great overarching pill, Huan Er's divine crystal, and the earth-grade cultivation method, the heavenly vast firmament technique that the 13th prince gave me. Ever since Duan Lingtian mastered the earth-grade cultivation method, the heavenly vast firmament technique, he could feel the difference between the earth-grade cultivation method and the yellow-grade cultivation method. It was like an insurmountable chasm. The difference was like heaven and earth. The difference was like heaven and earth. Huan Er, with your innate talent, the help of the divine crystal, and the medicinal efficacy of the pill in your body, you still haven't broken through? Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Huan Er. Huan Er's innate talent was not inferior to his. Moreover, with the help of the divine crystal and the medicinal efficacy of the pill her mother had given her, her cultivation speed should not be slow. However, Huan Er was an overarching heavenly supreme celestial after all. She was not a great overarching golden celestial. Brother Lingtian, I had a breakthrough earlier than you. I had a breakthrough 3 months ago, Huan Er said with a smile. Huan Er smiled. Duan Lingtian fell into a daze when he saw her smile. Her beautiful face was like 100 flowers blooming at the same time. You had a breakthrough 3 months ago? Does this mean you're an earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial now? Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up when he regained his senses.
Yes.
Huan Er nodded. That's true. You're already a profound rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial when you haven't cultivated for many years. Now that a year has passed, it's not surprising that you've made a breakthrough again. Duan Lingtian calmed down when he thought about Huan Er's age. He felt this was only natural. Brother Lingtian, there's only 10 days left until the selection of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Are you going to continue cultivating in the next 10 days? Huan Er blinked her beautiful eyes as she asked Duan Lingtian in a soft voice. Why? Huan Er, do you want to take a walk? Duan Lingtian's of the overarching of courses of Heavenly Supreme Overarching Huan, S overarching Heavenly Supreme Huans, overarching overarchings. Ling Ling Huan Er's eyes lit up immediately when she heard Duan Lingtian's words. Duan Lingtian did not inform Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, about their departure since he knew Long Fei Yun would definitely follow them out. Although Duan Lingtian did not inform Long Fei Yun, Zhou Ling, the heaven-rank overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial who was by Long Fei Yun's side, noticed them as they were leaving. Zhou Ling did not hesitate to inform Long Fei Yun about it. Since Brother Duan didn't look for me, it means he doesn't want me to go with him. Zhou Ling, follow them and protect them. Don't let anything happen to them. Long Fei Yun looked at Zhou Ling solemnly. Whether it was for the sake of being the first prince in the selection or for the sake of his future after Duan Lingtian joined the Martial Dragon Celestial sect, Long Fei Yun would not allow anything to happen to Duan Lingtian. He wanted Duan Lingtian to enter the Martial Dragon Celestial sect and participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest.
Yes.
Ling nodded and left to follow Duan Lingtian and Huan Er. Brother Lingtian, Ling is following us, Huan Er said. As soon as Ling caught up to them, Huan Er immediately informed Duan Lingtian about it. Huan Er, it seems like your senses have improved since you've become an Earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. You were able to detect Ling's presence so quickly. Duan Lingtian smiled. Although Duan Lingtian could not detect Ling's presence, he could guess that Ling was following them. After all, Ling was a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, and he would be able to sense their presence. If Ling knew they had left, he would definitely inform the 13th prince. At that time, the 13th prince would definitely send Ling to protect them. Duan Lingtian had already guessed this would happen. Therefore, he was not surprised when Huan Er said Ling was following them. Brother Lingtian, should we ask him to leave? Huan Er asked. Although she did not know much about the relationship between a man and a woman, she wanted to be alone with Duan Lingtian. She did not want a third person to ruin this opportunity for her. There's no need for that. Duan Lingtian was unaware of Huan Er's thoughts. He shook his head and said, if he wants to follow us, let him follow us. We'll just pretend we didn't notice him. All right. Huan Er nodded. As Duan Lingtian walked on the streets of the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he overheard many gossips. Among them, there was the rumor that the 7th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had poached the Violet Sun Golden Celestial from the Grand Prestige Mansion and recruited him. Isn't the Violet Sun Golden Celestial from the Grand Prestige Mansion a close relative of the Grand Prestige Mansion? Moreover, it seems like he was nurtured by the Grand Prestige Mansion. He has deep feelings for the Grand Prestige Mansion. Moreover, it's said that he's a grateful person. Why would he betray the Grand Prestige Mansion? It was precisely because Duan Lingtian had heard about this before that he was slightly surprised when he heard the rumors that rang in his ears. However, as the rumors continued to spread, he finally found out what the truth was. As it turns out, the Grand Prestige Mansion intentionally handed that person over to the 7th prince. As long as he represents the 7th prince in the selection in 10 days, he'll be able to obtain a Duke-grade celestial weapon for the 7th prince. Moreover, if the 7th prince wins the selection, it'll greatly benefit his chances of becoming the 7th prince. Duan Lingtian's doubts were dispelled when he heard this. If that was the case, everything made sense. Since my cultivation base has already broken through to the great overarching golden celestial stage, I think the remaining celestial fire hidden in the defective metal piece should have left by now, right? Duan Lingtian suddenly thought of the celestial fire in his body while he was shopping with Huan Er. Naturally, he was referring to the gray flame in his body, the chaos divine fire, that he had mistaken for a celestial fire. As expected, the celestial fire has left the defective metal piece. Duan Lingtian looked into his body and discovered that the gray flame had indeed left the defective metal piece. Just as he had expected, the gray flame would leave the defective metal piece after he had broken through to the great overarching golden celestial stage. Now, I can control all the celestial fires in my body. The celestial fire should be a mediocre celestial fire now, right? Duan Lingtian thought to himself. With this thought in mind, Duan Lingtian raised his hand, and a gray flame flickered on his fingertip. Although it only flashed for a moment, Duan Lingtian was certain it was a mediocre celestial fire. His celestial fire was most likely a mediocre celestial fire. If he wanted to be 100% sure it was a mediocre celestial fire, he would have to refine mediocre celestial pills to verify it. Only a celestial fire that could refine mediocre celestial pills could be considered a mediocre celestial fire. However, now is not a good time to refine pills. For this reason, Duan Lingtian quickly regained his senses and continued to accompany Huan Er. Although he was eager to refine pills, he suppressed his urge to do so. After all, he was not in a hurry. Moreover, it was rare for Huan Er to be in such a good mood. He did not want to interrupt her. Time continued to pass, and it did not take long for Duan Lingtian to finish shopping with Huan Er. After finishing their dinner in a restaurant, they walked out of the restaurant and prepared to return to the 13th prince's temporary residence in the imperial palace. The moment Duan Ling Tian stepped out of the restaurant's entrance, he felt goosebumps all over his body without any warning. In the next moment, he discovered that the gray flame in his body had actually become restless without him controlling it, as if it had sensed something. When Duan Lingtian instinctively tried to control the gray flame in his body, the chaos divine flame, which he regarded as a mediocre-grade celestial fire, the chaos divine flame sent him a message, prompting him to look at the other end of the street. There was an old man in a black robe standing there. The old man's body was thin, and his face was emaciated. However, his eyes were filled with vigor. The black robe he wore was not an ordinary robe, because there were balls of flames embroidered on the black robe. Those flames formed the word Qian on the black robe. It was none other than the celestial master's robe that was given to mediocre celestial alchemists and celestial weapons craftsmen by the Alliance of Celestial Masters in the Devata realms. This was enough to show that the old man was either a mediocre celestial alchemist or a mediocre celestial craftsman. Profound divine metal. It's also a second form primal chaos divine flame. You want me to devour it and make it a part of me? At that time, I'll enter the third form, and I'll be able to help you devour second form profound divine metals. Duan Lingtian's body suddenly emitted such a voice, scaring Duan Lingtian out of his wits. He could vaguely identify the source of the voice. It was none other than the gray flame in his body that he thought was a mediocre celestial fire. Chapter 2749. In fact, if I enter the third form, I might even be able to help you devour and assimilate a third form profound divine metal. Duan Ling Tian's voice resonated again from the gray flame. His voice was filled with temptation. However, Duan Ling Tian knew the voice was not here. He knew the voice was not trying to seduce him. After all, he did not understand what the voice was saying at all. This was the first time he had heard of the profound divine metal and the primal chaos divine flame. I'll help you. While Duan Ling Tian was still in a daze, he noticed another voice resonating in his body. Moreover, this voice did not come from the wisp of gray flame in his body. Instead, it came from the defective metal piece at the side of his soul. What are they? Duan Lingtian's heart skipped a beat when he discovered the gray flame and the defective metal piece were talking to each other. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that he did not expect the gray flame and the defective metal piece in his body could speak. Brother Lingtian, be careful. At this moment, Huan Er's anxious voice rang in Duan Lingtian's ears. When Duan Lingtian regained his senses, he discovered Huan Er had appeared in front of him and shielded him. Whoosh! At this moment, Duan Lingtian saw the old man in the sky. The old man in the celestial master's robe with the word Qian was charging toward Duan Lingtian at an extremely fast speed. His eyes were filled with killing intent, as though he wanted to kill Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian was certain he had never seen this old man before this. However, the old man looked as though he had killed Duan Lingtian's father and wife. An overarching, heavenly, supreme, celestial. Duan Lingtian could tell the old man was not a weak, overarching, heavenly, supreme, celestial. You want to kill Brother Lingtian? I'll send you on your way first. A murderous glint flashed across Huan Er's beautiful eyes as she faced the black-robed old man. As soon as she finished speaking, a chilling aura surged out of her body. It was so cold that it seemed to freeze the air around her. Whoosh! Cold air filled the air as waves of icy aura spread out, causing the group of people on the street in front of the restaurant to feel as if winter had arrived. In the next moment, under everyone's watchful eyes, the black-robed old man was enveloped by Huan Er's cold energy. At first, the black-robed old man was barely able to resist. But after a while, no, accompanied by an unwilling scream, the black-robed old man's entire body was invaded by the cold qi, and he was frozen into an ice sculpture, completely devoid of life. Bang! A loud bang rang out as the sound of something shattering began to spread throughout the void. Huan raised her hand and shot out a palm strike at the frozen old man, shattering him into millions of ice shards that fell to the ground. The sound of ice shards hitting the ground could be heard clearly. As soon as Huan shattered the frozen black-robed old man, swoosh, In the sky, a gray streak of light tore through the sky like a bolt of lightning as it shot towards Duan Ling Tian at an extremely exaggerated speed. Brother Ling Tian. As soon as she regained her senses, the streak of gray light shot into Duan Ling Tian's body like a gangrene. The gray streak of light was so fast that even Huan only saw a flash of gray light. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew past. Qiu Ling, who had been following Duan Lingtian and Huan appeared at this moment. He looked at Duan Lingtian worriedly as the gray streak of light entered Duan Lingtian's body. The gray streak of light was so fast that even Qiu Ling could not see it clearly. Not to mention he was far away earlier. Even if he followed closely behind Duan Lingtian, he would not be able to block the gray light for Duan Lingtian. Useless thing. Fortunately, I attained the second form 1,000 years ago. The chaos divine flame in this brat's body has only attained the second form less than 100 years ago. Otherwise, I would have died because of you. As soon as the gray streak of light entered Duan Lingtian's body, a voice rang from inside Duan Lingtian's body. Moreover, this voice came from the gray streak of light, unlike the voices from the gray streak of light and the incomplete metal piece. Brother Lingtian, are you all right? Huan asked worriedly as she looked at Duan Lingtian. After all, she had seen the gray streak of light enter Duan Lingtian's body with her own eyes. Qiu Ling looked at Duan Lingtian solemnly, worried that Duan Lingtian would suddenly collapse. If something happened to Duan Lingtian, it would be difficult for him to explain himself to the 13th prince. I'm fine. I'm fine. Upon hearing Huan words, Duan Lingtian regained his senses. He shook his head, not feeling any discomfort at all. However, his attention was quickly attracted by the voice that rang from inside his body. If it was only me who had attained the second form less than 100 years ago, even if you lost your host body, you would indeed not be a match for you who had attained the second form for more than 1,000 years. However, do you think that I, the host, am the only chaos divine flame that has attained the second form less than 100 years ago? The voice came from the gray streak of light in Duan Lingtian's body. It's a celestial fire as well? At the same time, Duan Lingtian discovered that the gray streak of light in his body was also a gray streak of light. The gray light that had entered his body was actually a wisp of gray flame, and the aura it exuded was very similar to the original wisp of gray flame in his body, except that the aura was deeper and more powerful. Stop trying to be mysterious. The gray streak of light that had just entered Duan Lingtian's body scoffed coldly as it spoke to the gray streak of light in Duan Lingtian's body. You'll find out soon enough whether I'm trying to be mysterious or not. The gray streak of light in Duan Lingtian's body, the chaos divine flame, that had attained the second form less than 100 years ago, said to the gray streak of light that had attained the second form more than 1,000 years ago, I'll devour and assimilate you now. I'll destroy your consciousness. As soon as the chaos divine flame that had attained the second form more than 1,000 years ago finished speaking, it charged toward the gray streak of light in Duan Lingtian's body at an extremely fast speed. It was as though it had transformed into a gigantic beast as it charged toward the gray streak of light. Profound divine metal, help me. At this moment, the wisp of gray flame in Duan Lingtian's body cried out in a timely manner. Profound divine metal? The chaos divine flame that had attained the second form for more than 1,000 years slowed down when it heard the cry of the gray streak of light that had attained the second form less than 100 years ago. Swoosh! At this moment, under Duan Lingtian's inner vision, the defective metal piece that was hidden in his soul suddenly transformed into a ray of golden light that shot toward the chaos divine flame that had been in its second form for more than 1,000 years. Whoosh! At the same time, he discovered the gray streak of light that was originally hidden in his body suddenly surged toward the gray streak of light that had just entered his body. Damn it! How can there be a second form profound divine metal here? The primal chaos divine flame, which had been in its second form for over 1,000 years, was slowly becoming more confident. However, when it spoke again, there was a hint of fear in its voice. Among the 5 divine elements, the chaos divine flame was the bane of the profound divine metal due to the fact that fire countered metal. Under normal circumstances, It would be easy for the chaos divine flame that had attained the second form for more than 1,000 years to defeat the profound divine metal that had attained the second form less than 100 years ago. However, there was a problem. Currently, there was another chaos divine flame that had attained the second form, eyeing the chaos divine flame covetously. Even if the chaos divine flame had attained the second form for more than 10,000 years, it was still no match for the chaos divine flame. Unless it was a third form chaos divine flame. Profound divine metal, if you help me devour and assimilate it, I'll definitely help you attain the third form in the future. The wisp of chaos divine flame, which had been in its second form for more than 1,000 years, hurriedly sent an invitation to the profound divine metal. It wanted the profound divine metal to help it destroy the wisp of chaos divine flame that had been in its second form for less than 100 years. However, the profound divine metal did not reply to the chaos divine flame. No, the chaos divine flame that had attained the second form for more than 1,000 years was powerless against the profound divine metal and the chaos divine flame. It did not last long before it was devoured and assimilated by the profound divine metal. This caused the gray flame in Duan Lingtian's body to grow even stronger. Duan Ling Tian's expression changed drastically when a wave of heat spread throughout his body due to the sudden increase in the gray flame. It was as though there was a wave of scorching energy pulling his body with all its might and was about to burst his body. Circulate your cultivation technique. The profound divine metal's voice rang in Duan Lingtian's ears. After a moment of shock, Duan Lingtian hurriedly activated the Earth-grade cultivation method, the heavenly vast firmament technique, that the 13th prince had given to him. He circulated his celestial origin energy through his 99 heavenly veins. Whoosh! At the same time, Duan Lingtian, who had been observing his body, saw that the chaos divine metal had shattered. The mysterious light around the broken piece of metal shone brightly, and a golden current flowed out of it. It merged with his celestial core power and circulated along his 99 heavenly veins. Relax your body. I'll help you temper your body until it's comparable to an overarching heavenly supreme celestial, so you can withstand the third form of the chaos divine flame. Fortunately, you have 99 heavenly veins and 99 saint veins that have been tempered in the celestial ascension pool. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to withstand my tempering. Chapter 2750. Huan protect me with Qiu Ling, don't let anyone disturb me. Upon hearing the profound divine metal's solemn voice, Duan Lingtian immediately sent a voice transmission to Huan and Qiu Ling to protect him. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's anxious voice, both Huan and Qiu Ling did not dare to be negligent. With just a wave of her hand, a gust of cold wind blew at Duan Lingtian. In just a blink of an eye, 4 walls made of ice appeared around Duan Lingtian, shielding him from the outside world. Although the ice wall was extremely cold, under Huan control, it did not allow any of it to get close to Duan Lingtian. Therefore, Duan Lingtian was able to focus on what he was doing inside the ice wall without being affected by the cold. Why you? You killed the old prince of Golden Light Mansion. At this moment, the middle-aged servant who was standing next to the black-robed old man finally regained his senses. He looked at Huan in disbelief as he spoke in a trembling voice. The old prince of Golden Light Mansion? As the middle-aged servant spoke, the surrounding passers-by who were originally deathly silent also came back to their senses one after another, revealing shocked expressions on their faces. That black-clad old man is the old prince of Golden Light Mansion? I heard the old prince of Golden Light Mansion is not only a yellow-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, but he's also an outstanding mediocre celestial alchemist and celestial weapon craftsman. I've also heard about the old prince of Golden Light Mansion. It's said that his mediocre celestial fire is very unique. It's both tough and soft. It can be used to refine pills and forge weapons. It's a rare celestial fire. The old prince of Golden Light Mansion has quite a temper. If he finds out his father was killed on the street, I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. This white-clad woman must have an extraordinary background. After all, she's very strong. Since she could kill the old prince of Golden Light Mansion so easily, It means she's much stronger than the old prince of Golden Light Mansion. When the passers-by found out that the black-clothed old man who had just been killed was actually the old prince of Golden Light Mansion, they could not help but discuss spiritedly. Most of them felt that given the temper of the old prince of Golden Light Mansion, today's matter would not be settled peacefully. The old prince of Golden Light Mansion? After learning the identity of the black-robed old man, Xiaoling couldn't help but frown. As far as he knew, the Golden Light Mansion seemed to be very close to the fourth prince, one of the 13th prince's sworn enemies. Anyone who wants to kill Brother Ling Tian deserves to die. Upon hearing the middle-aged servant's words, Huan glanced at him coldly through the veil that covered half of her eyes. Now, you better pray that my brother Ling Tian is fine. If anything happens to my brother Ling Tian, I'll annihilate the entire Golden Light Mansion. Annihilate the entire Golden Light Mansion. As soon as the words left her mouth, the surroundings fell silent again. Huan Er's cold voice entered the ears of the people in the surroundings, causing them to feel as though they had fallen into an ice cellar. This young miss, Xiaoling smiled bitterly when he heard Huan Er's words. However, he knew this young miss was someone who would do what she said. He was able to discern how much she cared about Duan Ling Tian. It was a care that completely surpassed everything else, including her own life. No matter who it is, if I can have such a confidant in my life, I'll have no regrets even if I die. Xiaoling sighed inwardly. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian was unaware of the situation outside. Currently, his face was distorted, and the flesh and bones all over his body were trembling nonstop. He only felt as if his entire body was being bitten by millions of ants. That kind of extreme pain, to the point where he wished he was dead, caused him to be on the verge of collapse several times. Fortunately, he gritted his teeth and endured it step by step. During this process, Duan Ling Tian could clearly feel the changes in his bones and flesh. The changes were similar to the changes he had experienced when he had just become a great overarching golden celestial. However, there were more changes. He could feel his flesh and bones had become much stronger. It was not something an ordinary great overarching golden celestial could compare to. Time continued to pass by. The profound divine metal continued to temper Duan Ling Tian's body as though it was tireless. Duan Ling Tian, who had just become a great overarching golden celestial, had a body as strong as an overarching heavenly supreme celestial. A great overarching golden celestial was much stronger than a golden celestial due to the qualitative change in his celestial origin energy and the strength of his body. This was also the reason why an overarching heavenly supreme celestial was much stronger than a great overarching golden celestial. Father! Accompanied by a mournful and vigorous cry of grief, a curly-bearded man wearing a crimson coat rushed over in a hurry. The curly-bearded man was tall and burly like an iron tower. His brows and eyes were as sharp as a tiger's. Coupled with the majestic aura he exuded, he looked majestic and awe-inspiring. However, at this moment, this majestic curly-bearded man's eyes were burning with fury as he looked at the shattered corpses that were mixed with ice shards all over the ground. His curly-bearded face also began to twitch violently. He was extremely furious. Who did this? The curly-bearded man was none other than the master of the Golden Light Mansion, the Golden Light King, Golden Tiger. As soon as he spoke, Golden Tiger had already arrived in front of the middle-aged servant who was standing next to the old prince of the Golden Light Mansion. He grabbed the servant's collar and lifted him up. The entire process was as smooth as flowing water. It was as easy as an eagle catching a chick. Your Highness, it's her. It's her. The middle-aged servant was so frightened that his face turned pale. He pointed at Huan who was standing in front of the ice wall, and spoke in a trembling voice. Why did you kill my father? Jean Hu asked coldly as he tossed the middle-aged servant to the side. His expression was dark as he looked at Huan His strength was not much stronger than his father's. Since Huan could kill his father, it was only natural that she could kill him as well. For this reason, he did not make a move immediately. He knew he was no match for Huan However, Huan ignored the Golden Tiger's question. This caused the Golden Tiger's expression to darken even more. Golden Light King. At this moment, Ling looked at Golden Tiger and said indifferently, "Everyone here can testify that your father was the one who made the first move. We were only trying to protect ourselves. Miss killed your father. Your father only has himself to blame." "Who are you?" In fact, before the Golden Tiger had come here, he had already learned the whole story through the celestial message talisman that the middle-aged servant had sent him. However, how could he, the Golden Light King, the master of Golden Light Mansion, let his father be killed so easily? "My name is Ling, and I'm on the 13th Prince's side." Ling continued to speak indifferently. The 13th Prince. Ling's words caused an uproar in the surroundings. "So they're on the 13th Prince's side." Many people exclaimed in surprise. It seems like the old prince of Golden Light Mansion has kicked an iron plate this time. He failed to kill the 13th Prince's men and was killed instead. He only has himself to blame. I'm afraid the Golden Light King will have to swallow this bitter pill. I wonder why the old prince of Golden Light Mansion would kill the 13th Prince's men. Is there a grudge between them? Even if there's a grudge between them, the 13th Prince's men shouldn't have acted so rashly, right? The onlookers discussed among themselves, puzzled by the black-clad old man's actions. They did not know why he had acted so rashly. The 13th Prince? As expected, Golden Tiger's expression darkened when he heard Ling's words. His eyes flashed as he took out a communication celestial talisman. No one knew who he was sending a message to. The Golden Light King is still looking for someone at this time? Who can he look for? He's on the 13th Prince's side after all. In the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, apart from the Emperor and the senior members of the Imperial family, the only people who would dare to go against the 13th Prince are the 4th Prince, the 7th Prince, and the 4th Miss of the Zhou clan. I wonder who he's looking for. I heard the Golden Light King is close to the 4th Prince. In my opinion, he's trying to get the 4th Prince to come here. He's trying to get the 4th Prince to come here? It seems like there's going to be a good show today. It was not difficult to guess the Golden Light King was trying to contact the 4th Prince of the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. The 4th Prince? Ling raised an eyebrow. However, he was not flustered at all. He did not even try to contact the 13th Prince. Why aren't they using communication celestial talismans? Aren't they going to contact the 13th Prince? Many people were puzzled when they realized Ling and had no intention of using communication celestial talismans. Did they think the three of them were strong enough to go against the 4th Prince? "Your Highness, the 4th Prince." Soon after, Long Xiangyun, the 4th Prince of the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, arrived. He only brought an old man with him. The Golden Tiger King, the Golden Light King, immediately went up to greet him respectfully. "Golden Light King, you said the old king was killed by my 13th brother's men?" Long Xiangyun's expression was unsightly when he arrived. Although the Golden Light Mansion's strength was limited, it was still useful to him in his quest for the throne. For this reason, he had always maintained a good relationship with the Golden Light Mansion. Almost everyone in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom knew about his relationship with the Golden Light Mansion. When Long Xiangyun heard the old king was killed by the 13th Prince's men, he felt a burning sensation on his face. It was as though he had been slapped in the face. A man lives by his face, and a tree lives by its bark. As the 4th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, his reputation was more important than anything else. Chapter 2751.
Yes.
The Golden Light King, Golden Tiger, nodded immediately when he heard Long Xiangyun's question. Then, he glared at and said, "That's her." Long Xiangyun furiously followed Golden Tiger's gaze when he heard Golden Tiger's words. However, as soon as he saw his expression changed drastically. "It's her." Whether it was Long Xiangyun or the old man behind him, their expressions changed as soon as they saw Er's face. Although they could not see Er's face due to her veil and hat, they had not seen her clearly. In fact, they had never seen Er before. However, they had heard of Er's disguise more than once. Therefore, they were able to confirm her identity as soon as they saw her. "His Highness, the 4th Prince?" Golden Tiger, naturally, noticed the change in Long Xiangyun and the old man's expressions when they saw Huan Er. An ominous feeling rose in his heart. In the next moment, Long Xiangyun's actions confirmed the ominous premonition in Golden Tiger's heart. "Greetings, Miss Huan Er." Long Xiangyun cupped his hands together and greeted Huan Er politely. Then, he signaled Golden Tiger with his eyes before he left with the old man behind him. They left as quickly as they came. "Take care of my father's body. If there's anything missing, I'll hold you responsible." Jin Hu coldly glanced at the middle-aged servant beside the Jin Wangfu's old master. After he finished speaking, he left with Long Xiangyun. The middle-aged servant hurriedly cleaned up the ice on the ground. Gasp, 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 gasp. A few moments later, the onlookers finally regained their senses. Many of them gasped in shock as they looked at Huan Er in a completely different light. Who's she? Even His Highness the Fourth Prince seems to be wary of her. He even took the initiative to bow to her. Even if the 13th Prince is here, the 4th Prince won't show him any respect. Who's that white-clad woman? Why would she be with the 13th Prince's men? Everyone was curious as to why she was with the 13th Prince's men. They were curious as to why she was with the 13th Prince. Now, no one thought that she was a subordinate of the 13th Prince. What a joke. How could someone who could make the 4th Prince treat him so respectfully be a subordinate of the 13th Prince? She ignored the curious gazes of the people around her. The gaze that shot out from her pair of perfect autumn eyes penetrated the ice wall and landed on Duan Ling Tian, who was inside the ice wall. She could see that Duan Ling Tian's face was distorted. She could see that Duan Ling Tian's body was violently trembling, and she could see that Duan Ling Tian's tightly clenched teeth were clenched and blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth. Why do I feel pain here? Why do I feel this way? A worried expression appeared on Huan Er's face when she saw Duan Ling Tian's condition. She placed one of her hands on her chest, where her heart was. She did not know why, but she felt a pang in her heart. She felt as though something was pressing against her heart. She had never felt this way in the past. This was the first time in her life. Although she was worried about Duan Ling Tian and wished she could suffer for Duan Ling Tian's sake, she knew Duan Ling Tian was not in her right mind. She knew her brother Ling Tian could not be disturbed at this moment. For this reason, she could only watch in silence. Meanwhile, Qiu Ling stood like an iron tower. His expression was cold as he looked at his surroundings. He looked like a guardian angel as he guarded Duan Ling Tian, who was surrounded by 4 ice walls. It was as though he would kill anyone who dared to come close to Duan Ling Tian. "I remember now," a middle-aged man who had been deep in thought suddenly exclaimed. He looked at Huan Er and said, She's the woman who killed the Zhou clan's elder who was with the 4th miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shudong, on the streets of the capital a year ago. The 3rd miss of the Zhou clan, the Zhou clan's elder." As soon as the middle-aged man spoke, more and more people recalled the incident that had caused a commotion in the capital a year ago. A year ago, Zhou Shudong, the 4th miss of the Zhou clan, had asked a handsome man to be her toy on the streets. However, she was rejected. In the end, not only was Zhou Shudong injured by the handsome man, but the Zhou clan's elder who was with her was also killed by a woman who was with the handsome man. Behind them, everyone felt that the man and woman were most likely going to be in big trouble. However, a few months ago, Zhou Shuqiu, the 3rd miss of the Zhou clan, returned to the capital and took the initiative to ask her younger sister, Zhou Shudong, the 4th miss of the Zhou clan, to apologize to the handsome man on the streets. From then on, the people in the capital could vaguely guess what was going on. That handsome man and the woman beside him should have some kind of extraordinary background. They were not simple at all. Otherwise, with Zhou Shuqiu's powerful background, how could she possibly be so courteous to them? No wonder I thought the purple-clad young man looked familiar. Isn't he the handsome man whom the 4th miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shudong, fell in love with? An old man exclaimed. No wonder the 4th prince was so polite to the white-clad woman. It seems like he recognized her. Moreover, it's obvious that she has a powerful background. Otherwise, the 4th prince wouldn't have taken the initiative to greet her. I've long heard that the two of them are friends with the 13th prince, and that they usually stay in the 13th prince's residence. It seems like the rumors are true. Of course, it's true. Otherwise, why would the 13th prince's subordinates follow them? Many of the people present on the scene could not help but sigh when they found out Duan Tian and Huan were the two people who had made a name for themselves in the capital a year ago. At the same time, they speculated that Duan Tian and Huan had an extraordinary background. After all, even the third miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shuqiu, was polite to them. Meanwhile, a powerful sect outside the wasteland? A great overarching golden celestial who's less than 100 years old? Moreover, the woman next to him is an overarching heavenly supreme celestial who's not even 100 years old? Along the way, the Golden Light King, the Golden Tiger, learned from Long Xiangyun that Duan Tian and Huan came from a powerful sect outside the wasteland. Moreover, the sect they came from was most likely stronger than the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. After all, even Zhou Shuqiu, who had the strongest background in the Thousand Spiders celestial sect, had to be polite to them. Now, you should know why I was so polite to that woman, right? Long Xiangyun said in a deep voice, Golden King, although that woman killed the old king, I still have to give you a piece of advice. It's best for you to forget about your father's death. After all, it'll be difficult for you to seek revenge. Once you choose to take revenge, if you don't do it cleanly, not only you, but even the entire Golden Light Mansion will be destroyed. Long Xiangyun's tone grew heavier and heavier as he spoke. Thank you for your advice, fourth prince. Although the Golden Tiger appeared to be a yes man, he had already made up his mind. Even if I have to use up half of the Golden Light Mansion's wealth, I'll hire a celestial duke to kill that woman and the purple-clad young man. I don't care why my father wants to kill the purple-clad young man, but since he wants to kill the purple-clad young man, I'll fulfill his last wish. In the wasteland, there was a type of assassin known as the Black Market Assassin. The Black Market Assassin was a mysterious person. No one knew who they were. All they knew was that they were very strong and could kill most people in the wasteland. Among the Black Market Assassins, the strongest were celestial dukes. It was said that many of the celestial dukes among the Black Market Assassins were high-ranking officials in the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. The Black Market Assassins wanted to complete missions in the black market in exchange for generous rewards. It was very likely that the sect leaders of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland were Black Market Assassins. Of course, even if they really did become assassins of the black market, they would definitely not easily expose or publicize it, because that was a very taboo matter. They would not even tell their closest friends that they were Black Market Assassins. Black Market Assassins were public enemies in the wasteland. However, they were still active in the wasteland. As long as one was willing to pay the price, they would help one kill regardless of one's background. For Black Market Assassins, even if they killed someone with an extraordinary background, they did not have to worry about the person's background. After all, they would not reveal their identities even if they were to kill someone. Half of the Golden Light Mansion's wealth is enough to hire a celestial duke to kill an Earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. That woman should be an Earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial at most. The Golden Tiger thought to himself. However, I'll have to verify whether she's an Earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial. With this thought in mind, the Golden Tiger took the initiative to bid farewell to Long Xiangyun before he left. After leaving, the Golden Tiger returned to the Golden Light Mansion's residence and instructed his capable subordinate to take charge of the selection held by the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Then, he left the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom and made his way to the center of the wasteland. The black market was located in the three cities in the center of the wasteland. The three cities were each controlled by one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. If he wanted to issue a mission to kill an overarching heavenly supreme celestial, he would have to personally go to one of the three cities and enter the black market. Chapter 2752. My current body. Duan Tian muttered to himself. At this moment, Duan Tian's body had also stopped being tempered by the profound divine metal after it withdrew its attack. At this moment, Duan Tian finally regained his senses. He could clearly feel the pain in his body gradually disappearing. After the pain subsided, Duan Ling Tian could feel the explosive strength in his body and the tenacity of his bones. It was not something the great overarching body could compare to when he had just undergone a transformation. So this is the overarching heavenly body of an overarching heavenly supreme celestial? As a yellow rank great overarching golden celestial who had just become a yellow rank great overarching golden celestial, his body had transformed into an overarching heavenly body on the same day. Even in the history of the spirit overarching heaven, there might not be such a case. Even if there had been such a case, it would only be a handful. When Duan Lingtian opened his eyes, he was momentarily dazzled by the bright light. However, he quickly adjusted to it. Senior, when Duan Lingtian regained his senses, he recalled the voice that came from the defective piece of metal known as the profound divine metal. It was the owner of the voice who had helped him temper his body. He had said that only by transforming his body into an overarching heavenly body would he be able to withstand the third form of the chaos divine flame. However, no matter how hard Duan Lingtian tried to call out to him, there was no response from the profound divine metal. Duan Lingtian looked into his body and discovered that the profound divine metal had returned to his body. Unbeknownst to him, the incomplete piece of metal had returned to the side of his soul, protecting it like a guardian deity. Senior. Following that, Duan Lingtian shifted his attention to the gray flame. He remembered the gray flame called itself the Chaos Divine Flame. It was also the Chaos Divine Flame that he had obtained from the black-clad old man. However, the current gray flame was on a completely different level compared to before. Duan Lingtian felt as though the gray flame was on a completely different level. However, no matter how hard Duan Lingtian tried to call out to the gray flame, there was no response. After taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian closed his eyes once more and tried his best to recall everything that had happened. From the moment he walked out of the restaurant, he recalled everything bit by bit, afraid that he would miss a single detail. At that time, a voice suddenly came from the gray flame in my body. The owner of that voice asked the owner of the voice that came from the incomplete metal piece to help him devour the gray flame in the black-robed old man's body. It was a primal chaos divine flame in its second form. Then, the black-clad old man tried to kill me. After the black-clad old man was killed, the second form chaos divine flame in his body entered my body. Based on his words, it seemed like he was confident that he could devour the second form chaos divine flame in my body. This was the entire sequence of events that Duan Lingtian knew. This is the third form of the chaos divine flame? At the same time, Duan Lingtian's attention returned to the gray flame in his body, which had changed a lot. He was sure that this gray flame was much stronger than before. Even with his current all-heaven body, he could barely withstand it. No wonder the profound divine metal said it would help me temper my body. Just the third form of the chaos divine flame is enough to destroy my previous body. Duan Lingtian's previous body was only a Daluo body. So the gray flame in my body is called the primal chaos divine flame. The reason why more than half of it was hidden in the incomplete metal piece was because my body was unable to withstand all of the primal chaos divine flame. To be more precise, it is unable to withstand all of the second form chaos divine flames. The incomplete metal piece is the so-called profound divine gold. It's obvious that I'll only be able to withstand the second form chaos divine flame after my cultivation base has broken through to the great overarching golden celestial stage and my body has attained the Daluo body. I'll need a stronger body to withstand the third form chaos divine flame. At the very least, I'll need to possess the all-heaven body. That's why the profound divine metal helped me temper my body, so that my body would attain the all-heaven body earlier. At this moment, Duan Lingtian finally understood many things. However, what he wanted to do the most was to communicate with the profound divine metal and the chaos divine flame in his body. He wanted to ask them what they were. However, the profound divine metal and the chaos divine flame seemed to be asleep. No matter how hard Duan Lingtian tried to call them, they did not respond. In the end, Duan Lingtian had no choice but to give up. No matter what, from the looks of it, all of this is a good thing for me, not a bad thing. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Of course, that was just what he thought, but as long as he thought about the existence of two sentient beings in his body, he always felt a little uncomfortable. This was mainly due to the fact that he was not familiar with them and did not know what they were. Huan withdraw your celestial origin energy. Duan Ling Tian said to Huan who was standing outside the ice wall after he opened his eyes and looked at the ice wall around him. Upon hearing this, Huan immediately removed the ice walls. She flew up to Duan Ling Tian and sized him up before she asked with concern, "Brother Ling Tian, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Duan Ling Tian shook his head with a smile. At the same time, he noticed the gazes around him. He could not help but frown slightly. After a while, he relaxed and said to Huan let's go back first." "All right." Huan sighed in relief when she saw that Duan Ling Tian was fine. She naturally held Duan Ling Tian's arm and followed Duan Ling Tian out of the restaurant. Duan Ling Tian was preparing to return to the 13th prince's residence. At this moment, Qiu Ling no longer hid in the dark. Instead, he openly followed Duan Ling Tian and Huan "Young Master Duan, Miss Huan was very worried about you earlier." Qiu Ling told Duan Ling Tian about what had happened while he was tempering his body through voice transmission. He emphasized the words Huan had said to the old prince of Golden Light Mansion's servant. "You'd better pray that my brother Ling Tian is fine. If anything happens to my brother Ling Tian, I'll annihilate the entire Golden Light Mansion." After listening to Qiu Ling's words, Duan Ling Tian looked at Huan who was standing next to him. A faint smile appeared on his face as a doting expression appeared on his face. This little girl, Duan Ling Tian, did not expect so many things would happen after Huan killed the black-clad old man. He did not expect the black-clad old man to be the old prince of Golden Light Mansion in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. He was also the father of the current king of Golden Light Mansion. Moreover, the black-clad old man was also a mediocre celestial alchemist and a mediocre celestial weapon craftsman. The old prince of Golden Light Mansion is a mediocre celestial alchemist and a mediocre celestial weapon craftsman? Duan Ling Tian asked Qiu Ling again. He thought he had misheard Qiu Ling. Yes. Qiu Ling nodded. Rumor has it that the old prince of Golden Light Mansion has a celestial fire. His celestial fire is a gray mediocre celestial fire that combines strength and gentleness. It's different from ordinary celestial fires that are either gentle or fierce. For this reason, his mediocre celestial fire can be used to refine pills and forge weapons. Qiu Ling explained in one breath. Combine strength and gentleness? Duan Ling Tian's eyes lit up when he heard Qiu Ling's words. He was inexplicably excited. Yes, even the second form Chaos Divine Flame I've mastered is also a combination of strength and gentleness. Why didn't I think of this? Perhaps it can be used to forge weapons as well? If that's the case, the Chaos Divine Flame can be used to refine pills and forge weapons as well. If the second form Chaos Divine Flame is comparable to a mediocre celestial fire, does this mean the third form Chaos Divine Flame in my body is comparable to a prominent celestial fire? Duan Ling Tian came to a halt when he thought about this. As soon as he stopped, Huan and Qiu Ling stopped as well. Huan let's go buy some medicinal ingredients. I want to refine pills. After saying this, Duan Ling Tian led Huan to another place instead of the Imperial Palace. Previously, Duan Ling Tian had accompanied Huan to most of the capital, so he was familiar with the current situation in the capital. He also knew where he could buy the medicinal materials he needed in order to refine pills. When Qiu Ling saw Duan Ling Tian and Duan Ling Tian taking a detour, he followed suit. His current mission was to ensure Duan Ling Tian's safety, so that Duan Ling Tian would be able to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest that was going to be held by the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's imperial family in 10 days. The Wasteland Grand Contest was extremely important to the 13th prince. The weaving overarching pill? Although Qiu Ling knew Duan Ling Tian was a celestial alchemist, he had heard from Duan Ling Tian that Duan Ling Tian was not a prominent celestial alchemist. However, Duan Ling Tian actually wanted to buy the medicinal ingredients needed to refine the prominent celestial pill, the weaving overarching pill. How could Qiu Ling not be shocked? Could it be that young Master Duan was just being modest? Could it be that he's actually a prominent celestial alchemist? Qiu Ling wondered to himself. Apart from that, He could not figure out how Duan Lingtian managed to become a prominent celestial alchemist in such a short time under his watch. Chapter 2753. The weaving overarching pill was a prominent celestial pill. It was commonly used by overarching heavenly supreme celestials to aid in their cultivation. It was similar to the primitive celestial pills, the spirit accumulating pill, and the hidden spirit pill that were commonly consumed by heavenly celestials and golden celestials. However, Duan Lingtian was a great overarching golden celestial, and yet, he consumed mediocre celestial pills when he cultivated. This was because the effect of a primitive celestial pill on his cultivation was negligible. The medicinal efficacy of a prominent celestial pill was too strong for him to bear. For example, he could not bear the medicinal efficacy of the weaving overarching pill. The reason he bought the medicinal ingredients for the weaving overarching pill was because he wanted to try refining a prominent celestial pill. He wanted to confirm if the third form chaos divine flame in his body had reached the level of a prominent celestial fire. Isn't the formula for the weaving overarching pill very common? You don't have it in your shop? Duan Lingtian frowned slightly when he found out the pharmacy did not sell the formula for the weaving overarching pill. How was he supposed to refine the pill without the corresponding formula? Young Master Duan, Qiuling said. At this moment, Qiuling said, if you need the pill formula for the weaving overarching pill, the 13th Prince can get it for you. Although there aren't many pill formulas for prominent celestial pills in the Imperial Palace's storehouse, there are still some for the weaving overarching pill. Qiuling was puzzled when he heard Duan Lingtian's words. Was young Master Duan really a prominent celestial alchemist? As a celestial alchemist, he did not even know how to refine the most common prominent celestial pill, the weaving overarching pill?
Yes.
Duan Lingtian nodded when he heard Qiuling's words. Then, he said to the pharmacy's staff, since you don't have the pill formula for the weaving overarching pill, please prepare the medicinal materials for me. Yes, sir. Although the person in charge of the pharmacy did not know the identity of the person standing in front of him, when Qiuling mentioned the 13th Prince, he could tell the person standing in front of him had an unusual relationship with the 13th Prince. Therefore, he did not dare to be negligent. Although the 13th Prince was unlikely to become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he was still a prince. However, no matter what, he was still a prince. Moreover, he was a prince who was on par with the 4th Prince and the 7th Prince. He had a great deterrent force. Therefore, the people in the pharmacy did not dare to disrespect the 13th Prince. With the herbs in hand, Duan Lingtian led Huan back to the palace. Huan I heard from the 13th Prince that the weaving sifting pills effect will be offset by the pill your mother gave you? On the way back, Duan Lingtian asked Huan Previously, although he knew about this matter, he did not pay much attention to it. Now that he had become a prominent celestial alchemist, he could not help but be concerned about this. After all, he hoped he would be able to refine pills that were useful to Huan after he became a prominent celestial alchemist. Yes. Although the weaving overarching pill's efficacy is not bad, it's not as potent as the pill mother gave me. The 13th Prince said he'll find me an overarching heaven pill if he has the chance. The weaving sifting pill was useless to Huan However, the overarching heaven pill was not necessarily useless. After all, the overarching heaven pill was the best pill for overarching heavenly supreme celestials. It could help them improve their cultivation base quickly. Similarly, the Great Overarching Pill had little effect on heaven-rank Great Overarching Golden Celestials. The Overarching Heaven Pill had little effect on heaven-rank Overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestials. It was only effective for Overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestials who were below the heaven-rank Overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial level. For this reason, the 13th Prince had offered to find an Overarching Heaven Pill for her when he found out the weaving sifting pill was useless to her. Overarching Heaven Pill. Duan Lingtian raised an eyebrow when he heard Huan words. He thought to himself, I have the pill formula for the Overarching Heaven Pill in my mind. Once I confirm that the third form Chaos Divine Flame in my body is comparable to a prominent celestial fire, I'll try to refine the Overarching Heaven Pill. With the 13th Prince's ability, he might not be able to find many ingredients to refine the overarching heaven pill, but it shouldn't be difficult for him to find some. After all, up until now, there's not a single prominent celestial alchemist in the wasteland who's capable of refining the overarching heaven pill. Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up as he thought to himself, once I'm able to refine the overarching heaven pill, even the three major celestial sects of the wasteland will have to treat me with respect. At that time, I won't even need to improve my cultivation base. I'll be able to get the martial dragon celestial sect to do me a favor and allow the 13th prince to ascend to the throne of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. The more Duan Lingtian thought about it, the more excited he became. However, he quickly calmed down as though a bucket of cold water had been poured over him. It's still too early for me to celebrate. Just like how not every mediocre celestial alchemist can refine the great overarching pill, not every prominent celestial alchemist can refine the overarching heaven pill. The formula for the great overarching pill isn't rare. Any mediocre celestial alchemist can obtain it as long as they're interested. However, there are very few mediocre celestial alchemists who can refine the great overarching pill. Duan Lingtian's excitement faded when he thought about this. Me too. Why am I thinking so much? I'm not even sure if the third form chaos divine flame in my body is comparable to a prominent celestial fire, and yet, I'm still thinking about refining the overarching heaven pill. Duan Lingtian could not help but shake his head when he thought about this. Meanwhile, Duan Lingtian and Huan returned to the 13th prince's residence in the imperial palace of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. Brother Duan, you want the formula for the weaving overarching pill? Long Fei Yun was taken aback when he learned Duan Lingtian wanted the weaving overarching pill's formula. He could not help but ask for confirmation.
Yes.
Duan Lingtian nodded. Do you want it for yourself? Or do you know a prominent celestial alchemist and want to give it to him? Long Fei Yun asked again. I want it for myself. I want to see if I can refine it. Duan Lingtian replied. But the weaving overarching pill is a prominent celestial pill. If you're not a prominent celestial alchemist, I'm afraid you won't be able to refine it. Long Fei Yun smiled wryly. I remember asking you before. You said you're not a prominent celestial alchemist. I'm just not sure if I'm a prominent celestial alchemist or not. Duan Lingtian explained. Previously, I found a celestial fire that's suspected to be a prominent celestial fire. However, I didn't try to refine prominent celestial pills because my alchemy skills weren't high enough. Recently, I've made a breakthrough in my alchemy skills. Therefore, I want to try it out and see if the celestial fire is a prominent celestial fire. Duan Lingtian replied. Is that even possible? Long Fei Yun was speechless. He did not expect this to be the case. However, his eyes lit up soon after. If Duan Lingtian confirmed that the celestial fire he obtained was a prominent celestial fire, it meant that he was a true prominent celestial alchemist. At that time, even if Duan Lingtian did not participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest, it would still be easy for him to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. After all, prominent celestial alchemists were extremely rare even in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. If Brother Duan is a prominent celestial alchemist, I won't have to wait for him to mature. As soon as he joins the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, I'll be able to ask the sect leader of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect for a favor and help me ascend to the throne of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. For the sect leader of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, it'll only take him a few words to decide who will become the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. After all, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect has 13 high-rank celestial kingdoms like the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. With this thought in mind, Long Fei Yun bade farewell to Duan Lingtian before he hastily left the residence to retrieve the prominent celestial pill formula for Duan Lingtian. After waiting for half an hour, Long Fei Yun returned with the memory celestial talisman that contained the prominent celestial pill formula. Long Fei Yun passed it to Duan Lingtian with an expectant expression on his face. Brother Duan, quickly memorize this formula and give it a try. Who knows, maybe the celestial fire you obtained is really a prominent celestial fire. At this moment, Long Fei Yun was even more eager than Duan Lingtian to find out if the third form chaos divine flame in Duan Lingtian's body was comparable to a prominent celestial fire. All right. After Duan Tian used the memory celestial talisman, he brought Huan back to the courtyard of his room. Long Fei Yun, on the other hand, followed them shamelessly. Duan Tian did not say anything about this. He only asked Huan to return to the room that was further away from the front courtyard to cultivate so that Xiu Ling, who was always following Long Fei Yun, would not expose the divine crystal to him. After that, he entered the room at the side of the front courtyard. Long Fei Yun's attention was on Duan Tian. Naturally, he did not pay attention to Huan Similarly, Xiu Ling's attention was also on Duan Tian. Therefore, he did not pay attention to Huan cultivation. I hope the third form Chaos Divine Flame is a prominent celestial fire. If that's the case, not only will I become a prominent celestial alchemist, but I'll also become a prominent celestial weapons craftsman. After all, the Chaos Divine Flame's characteristics are different from ordinary celestial fires. It's both tough and soft. After Duan Tian returned to his room and closed the door, Duan Tian went to his bed and took out his cauldron. Duan Tian took out the cauldron and prepared to use the celestial flame cauldron, according to the normal procedure. Bang! Along with a loud bang, Duan Tian's cauldron exploded the moment it came into contact with the gray flame that Duan Tian controlled. It turned into dust that filled the air and disappeared without a trace. Duan Tian was stunned. Duan Tian smiled wryly when he regained his senses. Chapter 2754. Duan Tian was not certain if the third form Chaos Divine Flame in his body was a prominent celestial fire or not. However, he was very sure that it was the truth. He was certain the third form Chaos Divine Flame in his body was a mediocre grade celestial fire. Why didn't I think of this before? If I had thought of this, I would have asked the 13th prince to prepare a cauldron for me and see if my Chaos Divine Flame can destroy it. Then, I'll be able to confirm if it's a prominent celestial fire or not. Duan Tian only thought of this when he saw the cauldron had been destroyed by the Chaos Divine Flame. Brother Duan, why did you come out so quickly? In the front courtyard, Long Fei Yun and Xiu Ling were stunned when they saw Duan Tian coming out again. Long Fei Yun asked when he regained his senses. What's going on? The cauldron in my hand is only a primitive celestial weapon cauldron. The celestial fire destroyed it. Duan Tian said awkwardly. A primitive celestial weapon cauldron? Long Fei Yun was stunned when he heard Duan Tian's words. Then, Brother Duan, you were only a primitive celestial alchemist before this? Yes. Duan Tian nodded. Since he had not refined pills with the help of the second form Chaos Divine Flame, it was not an exaggeration to say he was only a primitive celestial alchemist. Brother Duan, you're really lucky. As a primitive celestial alchemist, you managed to obtain a celestial fire that's suspected to be a prominent celestial fire. After Long Fei Yun bade farewell to Duan Tian, he left his residence. I'll look for a mediocre-grade celestial weapon cauldron and a prominent celestial weapon cauldron for you. This was what Long Fei Yun said to Duan Tian before he left. A pill cauldron was also a medicinal cauldron. However, when Duan Tian was in the mundane plane, the people of the mundane plane all called him a medicinal cauldron. Therefore, Duan Tian was used to calling him that. In the Devata realms, most people referred to cauldrons as pill cauldrons. Pill cauldrons were also immortal artifacts. For example, the pill cauldrons used by primitive celestial alchemists were mostly primitive celestial artifacts. Naturally, primitive celestial alchemists could also use cauldrons that were mediocre celestial artifacts to refine pills. On the other hand, high-grade celestial alchemists couldn't use low-grade cauldrons to refine pills since the cauldrons couldn't withstand their celestial fire. Just like how Duan Tian had destroyed a low-grade immortal pill cauldron. A mediocre celestial pill cauldron is easy. Even the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom only has 2 prominent celestial pill cauldrons. After leaving his palace, Long Fei Yun's face darkened. There were many mediocre celestial pill cauldrons in the imperial palace of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. It would be easy for him to obtain one. However, there were only 2 prominent celestial pill cauldrons. There was no prominent celestial alchemist in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, so the two prominent celestial pill cauldrons were dusty. Nevertheless, the two prominent celestial pill cauldrons were well kept. I'll have to obtain my father's permission to obtain a prominent celestial pill cauldron. I wonder if he'll be willing to give me one of the prominent celestial pill cauldrons? Long Fei Yun's mood soured when he thought about this. Based on his father's prejudice against him, he did not think his father would be willing to give him one of the prominent celestial pill cauldrons. After all, it was one of the two prominent celestial pill cauldrons in the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. For the sake of Brother Duan and myself, I'll give it a try. If he's unwilling, I'll think of another way. In the end, Long Fei Yun gritted his teeth and decided to give it a try. It was just as Long Fei Yun had expected. He had taken a mediocre celestial pill cauldron from the celestial weapon vault of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. The powerhouse in charge of the celestial weapon vault did not say anything. However, when he said that he wanted a prominent celestial artifact cauldron, he was directly rejected. Your Highness, the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom only has two prominent celestial pill cauldrons. His Majesty has ordered that anyone who wants to obtain one of the prominent celestial pill cauldrons must obtain his permission first. The powerhouse in charge of the celestial weapon vault of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom said bluntly, therefore, if you want a prominent celestial pill cauldron, you'll have to obtain His Majesty's permission first. Long Fei Yun, who had expected this, was not surprised at all. After he put the mediocre celestial pill cauldron away, he went to look for his father, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Your Highness, the 13th Prince, His Majesty is currently in seclusion. It's not convenient for him to see anyone. Long Fei Yun, the 13th Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, was barred from entering his father's residence by his father's personal guard, a powerful heaven-rank overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial. This heaven-rank overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestial was widely acknowledged as the strongest person below peak overarching Heavenly Supreme Celestials in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Based on this, one could easily imagine how powerful he was. He doesn't even want to see me? Long Fei Yun's expression darkened. Your Highness, there's no need to think too much. His Majesty is indeed in seclusion. Just tell me what you need. I'll pass on your message to His Majesty. I'll also pass on His Majesty's reply to you, Your Highness. The personal guard of the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was a middle-aged man with a medium build. He had an ordinary appearance. However, his eyes were bright and full of expression. If one were to look at them for too long, one would feel as if one's soul would be shaken. All right. Long Fei Yun took a deep breath. After suppressing the unhappiness in his heart, he explained the purpose of his visit. A prominent celestial pill cauldron? The middle-aged man raised an eyebrow in surprise. However, he did not say anything. He turned around and entered the residence of the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. After a few dozen breaths, the middle-aged man came out. What did Father say? Long Fei Yun asked as he looked at the middle-aged man with a burning gaze. He only wanted to know if he would be able to obtain the prominent celestial pill cauldron. He did not want to disappoint Duan Ling Tian if he could not obtain it. His Majesty said the imperial family only has two prominent celestial pill cauldrons, so he can't give them to you. The middle-aged man did not beat around the bush. Upon hearing this, Long Fei Yun's expression changed. In the end, he smiled bitterly. It's just as I thought. Father, you still treat me as an outsider. If I didn't come today and it was fourth brother or seventh brother, I'm afraid you would have agreed immediately, right? Long Fei Yun glanced at the residence in front of him before he turned around and left. When he left, Long Fei Yun's back was as lonely as it could be. Upon seeing this, the middle-aged man shook his head. A hint of pity could be seen in his eyes. However, it did not last long before it was replaced by indifference. Brother Duan, I'm sorry. I only brought you a mediocre celestial pill cauldron. As for the prominent celestial pill cauldron, after returning to his residence, Long Fei Yun returned the mediocre celestial pill cauldron to Duan Ling Tian. At the same time, he smiled apologetically at Duan Ling Tian and explained why he did not obtain the prominent celestial pill cauldron. Duan Lingtian could not help but frown when he heard Long Fei Yun's words. It was not because Long Fei Yun did not bring back the prominent celestial pill cauldron, but because of how the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom treated Long Fei Yun. In the past, he had only heard that the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom did not like Long Fei Yun. However, this time, he had personally witnessed it for himself. 13th Prince, I, Duan Lingtian, will definitely help you ascend to the throne of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Duan Lingtian looked at Long Fei Yun and solemnly promised, I believe in you, Brother Duan. As for the prominent celestial pill cauldron, you don't have to worry. I'll find you later, Long Fei Yun said. However, before that, you can try to see if this mediocre celestial pill cauldron can withstand your celestial fire. If it can't withstand your celestial fire, it means your celestial fire is indeed a prominent celestial fire. However, Long Fei Yun did not finish his sentence. Duan Lingtian knew what Long Fei Yun was trying to say. If the mediocre celestial pill cauldron could withstand his celestial fire, it meant his celestial fire was only mediocre and not prominent celestial fire. All right, Duan Lingtian nodded. He did not return to his room. Instead, he controlled the Chaos Divine Flame to fly toward the mediocre celestial pill cauldron in front of Long Fei Yun and Xiu Ling. The Chaos Divine Flame was a deep gray flame. As soon as it appeared, it seemed as though the air in the surroundings had been set ablaze. The scorching aura seemed to cover the entire place. Swoosh! Under Duan Lingtian's control, the Chaos Divine Flame surged into the mediocre celestial pill cauldron. Upon seeing this, Long Fei Yun and Xiu Ling widened their eyes in shock. It was as though they were afraid they would miss something if they blinked. Meanwhile, Duan Lingtian was also looking on with anticipation. However, after the Chaos Divine Flame surged into the mediocre celestial pill cauldron, it stopped moving. A bitter smile could be seen on Duan Lingtian's face when he thought about this. Long Fei Yun, on the other hand, was slightly disappointed. It seems like your celestial fire is only mediocre, young Master Duan. Xiu Ling sighed. That's right. Duan Lingtian nodded in disappointment. Then, he looked at Xiu Ling and said, It seems like there's no need for you to look for the prominent celestial pill cauldron for me since I can't use it even if you find it. Just as Duan Lingtian was about to say the word, a loud explosion rang in the air. Bang! Along with a loud explosion, the middle-grade immortal artifact pill cauldron exploded. Chapter 2755. Crack, 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 crack. When the mediocre celestial pill cauldron exploded, its fragments fell to the ground. Upon closer inspection, one would notice that none of the fragments were larger than an adult's thumbnail. This proved that the force that caused the mediocre celestial pill cauldron to explode was extremely powerful. Duan Lingtian was stunned. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Meanwhile, Long Fei Yun, who had regained his senses, burst out laughing. Duan Lingtian was still in a daze when he saw this. Tears streamed down his cheeks as though he had finally vented all the grievances he had accumulated over the years. Congratulations, young Master Duan. Congratulations, Your Highness. Xiu Ling congratulated Duan Lingtian and Long Fei Yun after he regained his senses. Naturally, he congratulated Duan Lingtian because Duan Lingtian had obtained a prominent celestial fire. Naturally, he congratulated Long Fei Yun for making the right bet. Duan Lingtian was indeed capable of helping him become the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. A prominent celestial alchemist was enough to make any of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland owe him a favor. It's really a prominent celestial fire. Duan Lingtian was the last one to regain his senses. When he regained his senses, the bitter smile on his face had disappeared and was replaced with an excited smile. It was a happy smile. Although he had already guessed it, he was not mistaken. He could not suppress his excitement when he confirmed the third form of the Chaos Divine Flame in his body was indeed a prominent celestial fire. Naturally, he did not lose his composure like Long Fei Yun. Brother Duan, congratulations. Your celestial fire is indeed a prominent celestial fire. After a long while, Long Fei Yun regained his senses and congratulated Duanling Tian. Moreover, the damage to the mediocre celestial pill cauldron shows that your celestial fire is not an ordinary prominent celestial fire. What's so special about this? Duanling Tian was a little surprised. I've heard that a prominent celestial alchemist from the Tai celestial sect only managed to shatter a mediocre celestial pill cauldron into pieces when he destroyed it. It's not as exaggerated as what you just did. Based on this, I can confirm that your prominent celestial fire is much stronger than the prominent celestial alchemist from the Tai celestial sect. Long Fei Yun said again. Duanling Tian's eyes lit up when he heard Long Fei Yun's words. This was undoubtedly a good thing for him. The stronger the high-grade immortal fire, the higher the success rate of refining the pills, and the more confident he would be in refining those high-grade immortal pills that were more difficult to refine. For example, the overarching heaven pill required a prominent celestial fire of a prominent celestial alchemist. Ordinary prominent celestial fires were insufficient to refine the overarching heaven pill. If that's the case, the chances of me refining the overarching heaven pill is much higher. Thinking of this, Duanling Tian was in a good mood. Unfortunately, I've disappointed you by not being able to find a prominent celestial pill cauldron for you. Long Fei Yun suddenly recalled that he had failed to find a prominent celestial pill cauldron for Duanling Tian. An expression of guilt appeared on his face, as though he was the greatest sinner in the world. It's all right. Duanling Tian shook his head and said indifferently, as long as I show off my prominent celestial fire when I return to the martial dragon celestial sect, I won't have to worry about not having a prominent celestial pill cauldron. When Duanling Tian reached the end of his sentence, a hint of confidence could be heard in his tone. Duanling Tian was confident that he could do so. After all, he was now a prominent celestial alchemist. The imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom had 2 prominent celestial pill cauldrons. How could the Martial Dragon Celestial sect not have prominent celestial pill cauldrons? Even if the Martial Dragon Celestial sect did not have prominent celestial pill cauldrons, as long as the sect leader of the Martial Dragon Celestial sect ordered the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom to hand over the 2 prominent celestial pill cauldrons, would the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom dare to refuse? However, despite Duanling Tian's words, Long Fei Yun's eyes gleamed brightly as though he had made up his mind. Naturally, Duanling Tian did not notice this. 13th Prince, I'll see you in 10 days then. At that time, I'll need you to bring us to the place where the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom is holding the selection. Duanling Tian said with a smile when he saw the atmosphere had become cold and cheerless in an instant. All right, Long Fei Yun nodded. In that case, I won't disturb you any longer. After bidding farewell to Duanling Tian, Long Fei Yun left with Qiu Ling. After Long Fei Yun and Qiu Ling left, Duanling Tian shook his head. It seems like I won't be able to refine the prominent celestial pill, the weaving overarching pill, for the time being. However, it's not a big deal. After all, I only wanted to refine the weaving overarching pill to see if the 3rd form of the Chaos Divine Flame is comparable to a prominent celestial fire. Now that I've destroyed the mediocre celestial pill cauldron, I'm certain that the 3rd form of the Chaos Divine Flame is comparable to a prominent celestial fire. Therefore, I'm now a prominent celestial alchemist. Not only that, but I'm also a prominent celestial weapon craftsman. Duanling Tian muttered to himself as though he had just remembered something. Oh, right. How did I forget that I'm also a prominent celestial weapons craftsman? Since I'm a prominent celestial weapon craftsman, this means I can refine prominent celestial weapons on my own. I can definitely refine the prominent celestial pill cauldron on my own. When he thought of this, Duanling Tian's mood was lifted. However, he soon regained his senses as though a bucket of cold water had been poured on him. Forget it. I'll forget about refining prominent celestial weapons for now. Although the memories left behind by the rebirth Martial Emperor will be of great help to me in the Tao of weapon refinement, it'll still take some time to refine prominent celestial weapons. Just like when I first refined pills in the Devata realms, it took me a lot of effort to master the flame. I'm sure it'll take me a lot of time to familiarize myself with refining prominent celestial weapons as well. The selection is in 10 days. I should wait until the selection is over before I think about refining prominent celestial weapons. At that time, I'll be able to obtain a prominent celestial pill cauldron from the martial dragon celestial sect. Well, I'll think about that later. With this thought in mind, Duan Lingtian felt more at ease. Let's continue cultivating. With this thought in mind, Duan Lingtian went to the room where Huan was cultivating. He took another great overarching pill and began to cultivate. Duan Lingtian did not fully immerse himself in his closed-door cultivation because the day of the selection was 10 days away. Instead, he kept track of time, so he did not need the 13th prince to remind him when the time came. If the 13th prince came to remind him, Qiu Ling would definitely follow him. Since Qiu Ling was a heaven stage overarching heavenly supreme celestial, it would not be difficult for him to detect the rich liquid heaven and earth spirit energy in the room and discover the presence of divine crystals if he probed with his divine consciousness. That was not something he wanted to see. However, based on the current situation, his relationship with the 13th prince was quite pleasant. However, if the divine crystal was exposed, he was not sure if the 13th prince would treat him the same way as before. After all, the divine crystals were not ordinary treasures. They were treasures that the three major celestial sects of the wasteland would fight over. If someone was willing to hand over the divine crystals to the three major celestial sects of the wasteland, the three major celestial sects of the wasteland might even let that person become their representative and rule over all the high-rank, intermediate-rank, and low-rank celestial kingdoms. Such power was second only to the three major celestial sects in the wasteland. It was second only to the three major celestial sects. With such power, the position of the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was nothing to Qiu Ling. For this reason, Duan Lingtian had to be cautious. In the next 10 days, the Imperial Palace of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was bustling with activity. The Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom ordered the princes to bring the young powerhouses under the age of 100 to the Imperial Palace to settle down. This way, it would be more convenient for them to participate in the selection of the 50 participants in the grand contest of the wasteland. It was as though they had agreed on this beforehand. Meanwhile, in the faraway Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, the intermediate rank Celestial Kingdom, the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, was also holding the selection of the 30 participants in the grand contest of the wasteland. I wonder how Duan Lingtian is doing since he escaped? He shouldn't have been found by the powerhouse from the compassionate celestial traveler sect, right? Although Qin Yu was not one of the participants from King Qin's mansion who came to the Imperial Palace of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom to participate in the selection, he still followed King Qin to the Imperial Palace. After entering the Imperial Palace, he could not help but feel worried when he thought about his friend, Duan Lingtian. At this moment, Qin Yu was still unaware that Duan Lingtian was still alive. In the near future, he would be able to see Duan Lingtian again when he accompanied King Qin and the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom to watch the grand contest of the wasteland. 10 days passed in just a blink of an eye. Early in the morning, Duan Lingtian called out to Huan and the two of them went to the front courtyard to enjoy breakfast. Brother Lingtian, can I participate in the selection? After breakfast, she looked at Duan Lingtian expectantly and asked, What's the matter? Huan there's no need for you to participate in the selection. Duan Lingtian smiled. It's fine as long as big brother Lingtian participates. You just have to watch from the side. Don't forget, I gave you that concealment pendant because I didn't want you to expose the fact that you're not 100 years old. Huan had displayed her strength in front of many people. She was strong enough to kill the Zhou clan's Earth-rank great overarching golden celestial. Chapter 2756. If it was exposed that Huan was an overarching heavenly supreme celestial, even though she was not even 100 years old, it would definitely bring her a lot of trouble. For this reason, Duan Lingtian did not want Huan's age to be exposed. There was no way he could change the fact that Huan's strength had been exposed. As long as she hid her age, no one would be interested in her cultivation methods, celestial methods, and divine abilities. However, I have a feeling that Huan's celestial methods and divine abilities are not as simple as heaven-grade celestial methods and divine abilities. Not long ago, Duan Ling Tian had tried to teach her the only heaven-grade divine ability he had mastered, the assist-type divine ability, the elementary devouring tactic. However, in the end, nothing came of it. It was not that Huan could not comprehend the elementary devouring tactic, but her assist-type divine abilities were of a higher grade than the elementary devouring tactic. The reason she was unable to display strength that was comparable to the elementary devouring tactic was because she had yet to comprehend the divine ability to its highest level. She still had a long way to go. It was not just assist-type divine abilities, but other divine abilities and celestial methods as well. Huan Er's celestial methods, divine abilities, and cultivation methods were extremely profound. All of these came from Huan Er's inherited memories. Huan had tried to teach Duan Ling Tian her cultivation methods, but Duan Ling Tian discovered he could not cultivate them. As for celestial methods and divine abilities, since Huan had yet to fully comprehend them, she would not be able to teach them to Duan Ling Tian in a short period of time. She would have to wait until she fully comprehended the celestial methods and divine abilities. Moreover, Huan Er's cultivation methods were not suitable for Duan Ling Tian. Therefore, no one dared to say Huan would be able to teach her celestial methods and divine abilities after she fully comprehended them. For this reason, Duan Ling Tian had never thought about obtaining Huan Er's celestial methods and divine abilities. Huan even if you don't participate in the selection held by the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, you can still join the Martial Dragon Celestial sect with me in the future. Moreover, the selection is meaningless. It's already difficult for me to find an opponent, let alone you. Duan Ling Tian continued. He knew that Huan was only interested in today's selection because she was curious and thought it would be fun. Upon hearing Duan Ling Tian's words, Huan nodded obediently. All right, I'll listen to Big Brother Ling Tian. Brother Duan. After waiting for a while, Long Feiyun's voice came from outside. It's time to go. Let's go. Upon hearing Long Feiyun's voice, Duan Ling Tian, who had been waiting for a long time, brought Huan and Long Feiyun out of the courtyard. Xiuling followed behind Long Feiyun as usual. Brother Duan, Miss Huan Upon seeing Duan Ling Tian and Huan Long Feiyun greeted them enthusiastically with a bright smile on his face. For the past 10 days, Long Feiyun could even sleep and dream with a smile on his face. This was because he knew Duan Ling Tian was not only a great overarching golden celestial who was not even 100 years old, but he was also a prominent celestial alchemist. It would be a piece of cake for Duan Ling Tian to become the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Duan Ling Tian and Huan walked side by side with Long Feiyun, who was leading the way. With Xiuling escorting them, they made their way to the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom selection venue for the grand contest of the Wasteland. Brother Duan, the selection will be held in Surong Palace in the Imperial Palace of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Surong Palace was built after the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was founded. Along the way, Long Feiyun broke the silence and said, Surong Palace is named after a man named Surong. He's the right-hand man of the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. He's the reason the Long clan was able to establish the kingdom. For the sake of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, Surong never married nor adopted any children. After he was killed while protecting the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom built a temporary residence named Surong Palace to commemorate him. Surong Palace is a place where the Imperial family's disciples sparred with each other. The Imperial family named Surong Palace because the Imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom wanted us to remember Surong, who risked his life for him and died protecting him. Long Feiyun spoke frankly with assurance. Duan Ling Tian nodded. Huan on the other hand, seemed to be enjoying Long Feiyun's words. That's Surong Palace. The statue in the middle of the square in front of Surong Palace is Surong's statue. Long Feiyun pointed at a majestic palace and said to Duan Ling Tian and Huan there's no need for you to be so kind. With just a glance, Duan Ling Tian saw the pavilion in front of him and the statue in the middle of the square in front of the pavilion. The statue was of a middle-aged man. He was tall and had a dignified look on his face. He held 2 hammers in his hands, and his head was raised. His eyes were fixed on the horizon. The statue was more than 30 meters tall, and it stood there like a small mountain. Those are the people from the mansions. Duan Lingtian saw the group of people walking towards Surong Palace from all directions. At this moment, Long Feiyun's voice rang in the air. 13th brother, where are the young powerhouses you recruited? Why don't I see them? A familiar figure appeared in front of Duan Lingtian. It was none other than Long Qingyun, the 7th prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, whom he had met at the Nyin clan's auction house. The black-clad old man was standing behind Long Qingyun. However, when the black-clad old man saw Qiu Ling standing behind Long Qingyun, a hint of fear flashed in his eyes. It was obvious he had realized he was no match for Qiu Ling after their battle at the Nyin clan's auction house. Don't tell me you're giving up? Haha. Long Qingyun came in front of Long Feiyun and asked with a mocking smile. Then, he couldn't help but burst into laughter. 7th brother, it seems like you're very confident. I'm sure your confidence comes from this person, right? If it was in the past, Long Feiyun would have flipped out with Long Qingyun. However, he was exceptionally calm today. Not only was he not angry, but he even greeted Long Qingyun with a smile on his face. Then, he looked at the person next to Long Qingyun. Next to Long Qingyun was a young man with a cold face who looked like a coffin. If I'm not mistaken, you're Fengwu Jiguang from the Grand Prestige Mansion, right? Long Feiyun asked as he looked at the young man next to Long Qingyun. The smile on his face did not falter even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of him. 13th Prince. Fengwu Jiguang nodded at Long Feiyun. Today, I'm representing the 7th Prince, not the Grand Prestige Mansion. I only hope that the young powerhouses you've recruited won't disappoint me, 13th Prince. A hint of coldness flashed in the depths of Long Feiyun's eyes when he saw how the young man dared to provoke him even though he had treated him politely. It seems like you're very confident in yourself. I believe you won't be disappointed. Long Feiyun looked at Fengwu Jiguang meaningfully. I'll wait and see. After Fengwu Jiguang finished speaking, he closed his eyes. It was obvious he did not intend to continue speaking. 13th brother, I'm also looking forward to the performance of the young powerhouses you recruited. Long Feiyun's expression darkened slightly when Fengwu Jiguang closed his eyes. Long Qingyun laughed and added, you should hurry up and invite them. However, it's best if you get them here as soon as possible. If they're late, the remaining people in the selection are all powerhouses. They might not even be able to win a single round. Ha 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 ha. After mocking Long Feiyun for a while, Long Qingyun laughed and led Fengwu Jiguang and the black-robed old man to Surong Palace before Long Feiyun could reply. As Long Qingyun and the black-clad old man passed by, the people from the various mansions automatically parted to form a path for them. Based on this, one could see Long Qingyun's influence in the mansions was quite high. From the beginning until the end, Long Qingyun had intentionally ignored Duan Lingtian and Huan. After all, he did not dare to provoke them before confirming their identities. Brother Lingtian, that 7th prince is so annoying, Huan said unhappily. Don't worry about it. Although Fengwu Jiguang's strength is not bad, he's nothing compared to Brother Duan. Although he's strong, he's nothing. I'm afraid his wishful thinking of becoming the first prince in the selection is going to fall through. Long Feiyun comforted Huan after his expression calmed down. Humph. That person isn't worthy of being compared to my brother Lingtian. Huan scoffed when she heard Long Feiyun's words. Her tone was slightly displeased. Yes, you're right, Miss Huan. Fengwu Jiguang isn't worthy of being compared to Brother Duan. He's not even worthy of carrying Brother Duan's shoes. Long Feiyun chimed in. This girl. Duan Lingtian shook his head. Duan Lingtian shook his head with a wry smile on his face. Then, he led Huan and Long Feiyun into Surong Palace. During this time, Long Feiyun, the 13th prince, was not as intimidating as Long Qingyun, the 7th prince. Most of the people from the mansions did not avoid him. In the end, Qiu Ling had to reveal his aura as a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial to make way for him. Soon after, Long Xiangyun, the 4th prince, and the other princes arrived as well. The people from the mansions arrived one after another. His Majesty has arrived. Chapter 2757. The Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was a tall, middle-aged man with a square face. He was dressed in a golden dragon robe, and his long black hair was draped over his back. When he came in, a middle-aged man followed closely behind him. There were also 6 elderly people following behind him. They were divided into 2 groups, with 3 on each side. They were protecting him on his left and right like an iron wall protecting him. "Greetings, Your Majesty. Greetings, Your Majesty." As soon as the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom entered, the people in the spacious hall of Serene Palace immediately bowed and greeted him. Only a few people did not bow at all. These few people included Duan Lingtian and Huan Er. There was also a young woman standing next to the 4th Prince of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. She was an old acquaintance of Duan Lingtian. She was none other than Zhou Shuqiu, the 3rd Miss of the Zhou clan. Shuqiu is here as well? Only 3 people did not bow at all. Naturally, they attracted a lot of attention. Even Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, had noticed them. However, his gaze soon landed on Zhou Shuqiu again, and he greeted her with a kind smile. "Your Majesty." Zhou Shuqiu nodded indifferently in response to the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Long Dongping was not angry at all. Instead, he walked up to Zhou Shuqiu and said with a smile, "Shuqiu, how many times have I told you that I'm your uncle? In the future, no matter what the occasion is, you can just call me uncle. There's no need to be so formal." "Your Majesty, this is a public occasion after all. It's inappropriate for me to call you uncle." Zhou Shuqiu shook her head. "Forget it. You've always been like this. Once you've made up your mind, you won't change your mind. You've been like this since you were young." Long Dongping shook his head. After he finished speaking, he looked at Long Xiangyun, the 4th Prince, who was standing next to Zhou Shuqiu and said solemnly, "4th Prince, you have to treat Shuqiu well. If you make her unhappy, don't blame me for punishing you." "Don't worry, Father. Shuqiu is my cousin. I'll definitely take good care of her," Long Xiangyun hurriedly replied. At the same time, he was puzzled. He couldn't figure out why his cousin would be interested in today's selection. She even came with his little cousin Zhou Shudong. "Shuqiu, I still have to preside over today's selection, so I won't stay here any longer. If you have any needs, just look for 4th brother. If he makes you unhappy, just say the word and I will send him to the cold palace for a few days." Long Dongping then looked at Zhou Shuqiu and said with a doting expression. He spoke as if Long Xiangyun was not his biological son and Zhou Shuqiu was his biological daughter. "Yes." Zhou Shuqiu nodded and didn't say anything else. When Long Dongping left, the middle-aged man and the 6 old men behind him greeted Zhou Shuqiu at the same time. "Miss Shuqiu." When they greeted him, their tone was full of respect, and they did not dare to slight him in the slightest. If Zhou Shuqiu was an ordinary woman, she would have been shocked to receive such treatment. After all, apart from Long Dongping, who was the Supreme Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, the 7 men who followed him were all pillars of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Most of them were heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials. Only 2 of them were earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials. Naturally, the earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials who followed the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom were not ordinary earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials. Their strength was second to none among the earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. They were almost as strong as heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestials. However, none of them were surprised by Zhou Shuqiu's treatment. Instead, they felt it was only natural. In their eyes, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom was a high and mighty figure. However, Zhou Shuqiu's other identity was even more extraordinary. She was the last disciple of the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect, one of the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland. Such a person was not someone the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom could compare to. Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, instinctively glanced at Duan Lingtian and Huan Er as he made his way to the stone platform in the middle of Serene Palace. Who are these 2 people? Even Shuqiu can't do anything to them. As the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, although this was his first time meeting Duan Lingtian and Huan, he had long been aware of their existence. He had even investigated their origins. However, he did not manage to find anything useful in such a short time. The intelligence network of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom can't compare to the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect's intelligence network. Since Shuqiu didn't do anything to them even after learning that her younger sister had suffered such a huge loss, it's very likely she already knows about their background. Moreover, they're not simple. For this reason, even though Duan Lingtian and Huan were rude to him, he did not make a fuss about it. If it were two people whose backgrounds were far inferior to the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's imperial family, he would have been furious. He would have ordered them to be punished for being disrespectful in front of him. Didn't they say that the white-clad woman is younger than 100 years old? It seems like the rumors aren't true after all. After Long Dongping extended his divine consciousness, he discovered the aura of Huan who was standing next to Duan Lingtian did not belong to someone younger than 100 years old. For a moment, he thought the rumors were unreliable. Nevertheless, he did not dare to underestimate Duan Lingtian and Huan. After all, even Zhou Shuqiu would not dare to offend them. He was unaware of the reason Zhou Shuqiu did not make a move on Duan Lingtian. Otherwise, he would not have thought this way. Brother Lingtian, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, used his divine consciousness to probe me earlier. Since she had become an Earth-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, it was easy for her to sense the Emperor's divine consciousness. After all, the Emperor's cultivation base was only one stage higher than hers. I think he's trying to probe your age. As for your cultivation base, he doesn't have the ability to do so. Duan Lingtian said. Although she did not have the defective metal piece to protect her soul and conceal her cultivation base, as a thousand phantoms ice fox, her soul was protected by the power of inheritance. Due to this, it was difficult for others to detect her cultivation base through the aura of her soul. Duan Lingtian was aware of this. Everyone. Shortly after, Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, stepped onto the stone platform in the middle of the main hall of Su Rong Palace. He looked around and announced, "I'm sure everyone knows the rules of today's selection. I won't say much about them." Long Dongping did not beat around the bush and announced the start of the selection. Everyone present already knew the rules of today's selection. The powerhouses under the age of 100 would compete with the powerhouses under the age of 100 that were recruited by the princes. The most outstanding 50 would be given a spot in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom to participate in the grand contest of the Wasteland. The 50 people would be divided into the princes and the princes. The strongest powerhouse in the princes and the strongest powerhouse in the princes and the strongest powerhouse in the princes and princes respectively. However, once the powerhouses were in the princes or princes faction, they would not be allowed to change their positions. Take Feng Wu Jiguang, the Violet Sun Golden Celestial who was less than 100 years old from the Grand Prestige Mansion as an example. Initially, everyone thought he would represent the Grand Prestige Mansion in the selection. Who would have thought he would represent the 7th prince? For this reason, he would belong to the prince's faction. Regardless of whether he could win the title of the strongest powerhouse in the Wasteland, he would not be allowed to participate in the competition between the princes and princes. This was done to prevent one person from obtaining the title of number 1 prince and number 1 prince for both a prince and a mansion. In any case, today's selection was very humane. Soon after, the selection began. Since Feng Wu Jiguang was a Violet Sun Golden Celestial who was less than 100 years old, the appearance of Indigo Sun Golden Celestials did not cause much of a commotion. Feng Wu Jiguang hasn't made his move yet. If he makes his move, it'll be easy for him to win the title of the strongest powerhouse in the Wasteland. At this moment, many people in Su Rong Palace shared the same thought. As time passed, Feng Wu Jiguang made his move as well. He was invincible and unstoppable. The top 50 powerhouses were about to be selected. 13th brother. Why aren't your people here yet? Long Qing Yun, the 7th prince, and Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, were standing far away from each other. He sent a voice transmission to Long Fei Yun. It seems like you've given up because you know it's impossible for you to win the title of the strongest powerhouse in the wasteland. What a pity. In fact, even if you know it's impossible for you to win the title of the strongest powerhouse in the Wasteland Grand Contest, you shouldn't give up. Who knows, Father might even praise you if you find a few young powerhouses who are qualified to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest. If you can't even find a young powerhouse who's qualified to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest, Father might dislike you even more. Ha 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 ha. Long Qingyun could not help but laugh when he reached the end of his voice transmission. Humph. Long Feiyun snorted when he heard Long Qingyun's words. The young powerhouses I found have arrived a long time ago. Seventh brother, you must have a problem with your eyes. When Long Feiyun said this, he was just short of calling Long Qingyun blind. Hearing Long Feiyun's words, Long Qingyun flew into a rage. Whoosh! Chapter 2758. Why did he go up there? Upon seeing Duan Lingtian's actions, the seventh prince, Long Qingyun, who was enraged by Long Feiyun's words, was horrified. He did not expect Duan Lingtian would go up there. Could this purple-clad young man be a disciple from a powerful sect outside the wasteland? Since he already belonged to a sect, it was reasonable to say that he would not be interested in the Wasteland Grand Tournament, nor would he participate in it. After all, the purpose of the Wasteland Grand Contest was to recruit disciples from the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland. Why is he here? When Long Qingyun saw Duan Lingtian's actions, Long Xiangyun, the fourth prince, was stunned as well. On the other hand, Zhou Shuqiu, the third miss of the Zhou clan, who was standing next to Long Xiangyun, had a glint in her eyes as she muttered to herself, I didn't expect him to participate in the selection. It seems like he's interested in the Wasteland Grand Contest. Zhou Shuqiu did not tell anyone that she had come to observe the selection held by the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom because she suspected Duan Lingtian would come. After all, based on her investigation, Duan Lingtian might not have a powerful background. If Duan Lingtian did not have a powerful background and did not belong to a sect, it was very likely that he would join one of the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland through the Wasteland Grand Contest. After all, the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland were the most suitable path for someone without a powerful background. Moreover, Duan Lingtian was close to Long Feiyun, the 13th prince, so it was not impossible for him to represent Long Feiyun in the Wasteland Grand Contest. However, even if Zhou Shuqiu thought so, she was not 100% certain that Duan Lingtian would be interested in the Wasteland Grand Contest. At this moment, she was completely certain. It seems like he doesn't belong to a sect. Otherwise, he wouldn't want to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest. Zhou Shuqiu thought to herself. Generally speaking, it was impossible for someone who belonged to a sect to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest. This was because the outstanding participants of the Grand Contest of the Wasteland would be accepted by the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland. Although they could reject the Grand Contest of the Wasteland, they would not receive the Grand Contest of the Wasteland's rewards. Therefore, those who belonged to sects would not be so bored as to participate in the Wasteland Grand Competition. Of course, there's another possibility. He's only participating in today's selection to obtain a spot to participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest. He doesn't intend to stand out in the Wasteland Grand Contest. Zhou Shuqiu's heart sank when she thought of this. Perhaps the reason he's participating in this selection is to help the 13th prince, Long Feiyun, become the number one prince. Perhaps he'll admit defeat during the Wasteland Grand Contest. That way, he won't be related to the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland. For a moment, Zhou Shuqiu felt that Duan Lingtian might have an extraordinary background. One day, I will find out your background. Zhou Shuqiu muttered to herself as she stared at Duan Lingtian's back. Sister, why did he go up there? Zhou Shudong, the fourth miss of the Zhou clan, who was standing next to Zhou Shuqiu, was stunned when she saw Duan Lingtian on the stone platform in the middle of Surong Palace. In her opinion, this purple-clad young man was from a major sect outside of the Wasteland. If that was the case, why did he participate in today's selection? How could someone who belonged to a sect join the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland after the Wasteland Grand Contest? Zhou Shuqiu replied to Zhou Shudong's question, Perhaps he doesn't intend to stand out in the Wasteland Grand Contest and enter the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland. Perhaps he's only participating in today's selection to help the 13th prince become the #1 prince. Realization dawned on Zhou Shudong when she heard Zhou Shuqiu's words. She relayed Zhou Shuqiu's words to Long Xiangyun, the 4th prince. So that's how it is. Hearing that it was Zhou Shuqiu who said that, coupled with the fact that her words could solve the doubts in his heart, Long Xiangyun also felt that this was the truth of the matter. For a moment, a smile appeared on his face. Old 7th, you've put in so much effort to become the #1 prince in the selection. You even colluded with the Grand Prestige Mansion and asked Feng Wu Jiguang to help you. You didn't expect the mantis to stalk the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind, right? Long Xiangyun smiled mockingly as he looked at Long Qingyun, the 7th prince. To be honest, if either his 7th brother or 13th brother had to become the #1 prince in the selection, he would rather his 13th brother win. This was because, although his 13th brother was outstanding in all aspects, his father did not favor him. Even if he became the #1 prince in the selection, he would not be able to ascend to the throne of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. However, his 7th brother was different. His 7th brother was similar to him in all aspects. Both of them were doted on by their father. If his 7th brother became the #1 prince in the selection, his father would definitely look at him in a different light. Long Xiangyun did not want that to happen. After all, if that happened, the balance between him and his 7th brother would be broken. How did he get up there? At this moment, the 7th prince, the 4th prince, and the others were not the only ones who were dumbfounded. Even Long Dongping, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, was dumbfounded. He did not expect the purple-clad young man who he thought had an extraordinary background would rise to the stage. As far as he knew, the purple-clad young man seemed to be a great overarching golden celestial who was not even 100 years old. However, even if he was a great overarching golden celestial, he should be a disciple of a powerful sect outside the Wasteland. How could a young powerhouse who belonged to a sect participate in the Wasteland Grand Contest? Even if he did, would he join the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland? It seems like he wants to become the #1 prince in the Wasteland Grand Contest. However, he might not join one of the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland on behalf of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. With this thought in mind, Long Dongping looked at Long Fei Yun and asked in a deep voice, 13, did you ask him to come here and cause trouble? Long Dongping's voice was filled with hostility and anger when he sent the voice transmission to Long Fei Yun. Long Fei Yun's expression turned unsightly when he heard Long Dongping's words. At this moment, buzz, 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 buzz. The sound of wind whistling could be heard coming from the center of Su Rong Palace. It was Duan Lingtian who had ascended to the stone platform in the center of Su Rong Palace. He raised his hand and a vast amount of celestial origin energy surged out of his hand before it transformed into a gigantic sword that shot toward Feng Wu Jiguang. Humph! When Duan Lingtian had ascended to the stone platform, Feng Wu Jiguang had already noticed Duan Lingtian. He had also noticed Duan Lingtian's gaze on him. For this reason, he was not surprised when he saw Duan Lingtian attacking him. Instead, he snorted coldly. At the same time, Feng Wu Jiguang's celestial origin energy surged out of his body like a torrent. Finally, it gathered in his hands and merged with the 7-foot-long spear. Swoosh! The 7-foot-long spear trembled as the celestial origin energy in the surroundings surged. In the next moment, the celestial origin energy in the surroundings seemed to have transformed into a gigantic python as it opened its mouth and bit at Duan Lingtian's gigantic sword. Boom! 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 Whether it was the gigantic sword or the long spear that had transformed into a snake, the void trembled and rippled. It was as though a stone had been thrown into a calm lake, causing ripples to appear on the surface of the lake. Is that the 13th prince's subordinate? I think so. Moreover, based on his strength, it seems like he's on par with Feng Wu Jiguang. He's at least a violet sun golden celestial. I wonder if he's as strong as Feng Wu Jiguang? Who's he? I've never heard of such a person in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. I've never heard of him before. I don't know where it came from. In Serene Palace, the people from the various mansions discussed among themselves. They were all curious about Duan Lingtian's identity. After all, in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, they had only heard of Feng Wu Jiguang, a violet sun golden celestial who was younger than 100 years old. They had never heard of a second violet sun golden celestial who was younger than 100 years old. For this reason, they were all curious about Duan Lingtian's identity. Boom. Rumble. Just as everyone's attention was focused on the stone platform in the middle of Su Rongong's palace, a series of deafening booms resounded in the void, as if a violent earthquake had occurred out of nowhere. The gigantic sword formed from Duan Lingtian's celestial origin energy suddenly grew in size. Its strength increased by a few levels in just a blink of an eye. At this moment, everyone in Su Rong Palace noticed the change in Duan Lingtian's attack. How's this possible? Feng Wu Jiguang was, naturally, Duan Lingtian's opponent. Feng Wu Jiguang had unleashed his full strength. He thought he would be able to tie with Duan Lingtian. He did not expect Duan Lingtian's strength to increase by a few levels in just a blink of an eye. A great overarching golden celestial. This thought appeared in Feng Wu Jiguang's mind in just a blink of an eye. As soon as this thought appeared, it was like a dark cloud that shrouded his heart, unable to dissipate for a long time. A great overarching golden celestial. Heavens! He's a great overarching golden celestial. Based on his aura, he's not even 100 years old. He's a great overarching golden celestial who's younger than 100 years old. There's a great overarching golden celestial who's younger than 100 years old in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. He's really good at hiding his strength. An uproar broke out in Su Rong Palace. Boom, 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 boom. The series of rumbling sounds resounded, followed by an earth-shattering bang. The gigantic sword formed from Duan Lingtian's celestial origin energy easily destroyed Feng Wu Jiguang's attack. Even the long spear in Feng Wu Jiguang's hand was sent flying before it pierced through a pillar at the side of the hall. Boom! Chapter 2759. Since Duan Lingtian and Feng Wu Jiguang were not mortal enemies, the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's imperial family had decided to withdraw most of his forces at the critical moment. Bang! For this reason, Feng Wu Jiguang was only severely injured when he slammed into the wall of Su Rong Palace. He was not killed by Duan Lingtian. Even so, Feng Wu Jiguang had lost the ability to fight. He supported himself against the wall for a long time before he managed to stand up. Thank you for showing mercy. Feng Wu Jiguang struggled to stand up. When he looked at Duan Lingtian again, there was no hatred in his eyes. Instead, a hint of gratitude could be seen in his eyes. He was grateful that Duan Lingtian had spared his life. Earlier, Duan Lingtian's gigantic sword was so domineering that he felt suffocated. At that moment, he was filled with despair. He thought he was going to die. He did not expect Duan Lingtian would retract most of his forces at the critical moment, saving his life. After the suffocating feeling of being on the brink of death, Feng Wu Jiguang no longer resented Duan Lingtian. Instead, he felt grateful. All right. Duan Lingtian nodded indifferently at Feng Wu Jiguang. Then, he looked at the young powerhouses on the stone platform who were younger than 100 years old. These young powerhouses were the cream of the crop. When Duan Lingtian looked at them, the group of young powerhouses regained their senses from the earlier shock. Their expressions changed when they saw the battle intent in Duan Lingtian's eyes. They turned around and jumped off the stone platform in unison. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The sound of the wind reverberated in the main hall of Su Rong Palace. In just a blink of an eye, the group of people on the stone platform left the stone platform as fast as they could. It was as though there was a ferocious beast on the stone platform that terrified them. In their eyes, Duan Lingtian was no different from a ferocious beast. A great overarching golden celestial who was not even 100 years old. Such an existence was simply not someone they could provoke. Didn't they see how Feng Wu Jiguang, a violet sun golden immortal, was sent flying with a single blow? Moreover, from the beginning until the end, the other party didn't seem to have used any immortal artifacts. The strongest among them was only an indigo sun gold immortal. Even if all of them attacked together, they would not be a match for this perfected gold immortal who was not even 100 years old. Instead of humiliating themselves, they might as well admit defeat. All of a sudden, Duan Lingtian was the only one left on the huge stone platform in the middle of Su Rong Palace. He was dressed in purple, had a handsome appearance, and had an outstanding temperament. While Duan Lingtian stood there and became the focus of everyone's attention, the eyes of the young ladies from the various great king's mansions who had come this time repeatedly revealed extraordinary splendor. Every one of them looked at Duan Lingtian with burning gazes. Handsome men with outstanding temperament were always the most attractive, especially when this was a zenith heaven golden immortal who was not even 100 years old. Who is he? Since when did such a person appear in the soaring dragon celestial kingdom? A great overarching golden immortal who's not even 100 years old. How deep is he that we didn't hear anything about him? After a moment of silence, a commotion broke out in the main hall of Su Rong Palace. The people from the various great king's mansions and some of the princes whispered among themselves. They were shocked and curious about Duan Lingtian, a great overarching golden immortal who was not even 100 years old, who had suddenly appeared out of nowhere. After all, a great overarching golden immortal who was not even 100 years old could not be easily hidden in the wasteland, let alone in the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. The only exception was if he never revealed his strength in front of others. It seems like he's going to be the first prince in the selection this time. He's one of the 13th prince's men. I didn't expect the 13th prince to be the first prince in the selection this time. That's right. I'm afraid the Grand Prestige Mansion is the most regretful one this time. They thought they'd be able to help the 7th prince win the selection by lending Feng Wu Ji Guang to him, who knew a great overarching golden immortal who's not even 100 years old would appear out of nowhere. The 7th prince must be so angry that he's about to vomit blood, right? As the crowd discussed among themselves, their gazes simultaneously landed on the 7th prince, Long Qingyun. Just as they had said, Long Qingyun was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. He had thought he would definitely win the selection this time. He did not expect a great overarching golden immortal who was not even 100 years old would appear out of nowhere. Moreover, this great overarching golden immortal was one of his 13th brother's men. Long Qingyun did not dare to offend this person. He must have a powerful sect backing him up. However, he still participated in the selection. This means he wants to help 13th brother win the selection. He might not participate in the grand contest of the wasteland. Even if he does, he'll definitely be eliminated. Long Qingyun was certain Duan Lingtian only wanted to help 13th prince win the selection and had no intention of participating in the grand contest of the wasteland. Father. Since Long Qingyun was afraid of Duan Lingtian, he did not dare to offend Duan Lingtian. Therefore, he sent a voice transmission to his father, Long Dongping, the emperor of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. If he has no intention of participating in the grand contest of the wasteland, he won't be of any help to the imperial family of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom even if he wins the selection. Father, are you really going to reward 13th brother with a Duke-grade celestial weapon? Long Qingyun's words struck a chord in Long Dongping's heart, causing his expression to darken slightly. Young man. After a while, Long Dongping looked at Duan Lingtian and said, Duan Lingtian, young man. Everyone shifted their attention to Long Dongping, the emperor of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom. HM? Duan Lingtian looked at Long Dongping as well. The imperial family of the soaring dragon celestial kingdom is holding a selection today to select the participants for the grand contest of the wasteland. Apart from that, the participants will have to do their best in the grand contest of the wasteland. Long Dongping looked at Duan Lingtian and said in a clear voice. When he reached the end of his sentence, he looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully and asked, Can you do this? Yes. Duan Lingtian nodded slightly. Long Dongping did not expect Duan Lingtian would agree so readily. He was stunned for a moment before he continued to say, Apart from that, The participants will have to join one of the three major celestial sects if they have a good ranking in the grand contest of the wasteland. Can you do it? Long Dong Ping asked again. What? Your Majesty, are you suspecting that I only want to help the 13th prince win the grand contest of the wasteland and have no intention of joining the three major celestial sects of the wasteland? Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Long Dong Ping. That's right. Long Dong Ping did not expect Duan Lingtian to speak his mind so bluntly. However, since Duan Lingtian had said it out loud, he was not afraid to admit it. He nodded and said, After all, I heard that you have an extraordinary background. It's very likely that you already have a sect. Based on your Majesty's words, it seems like you know him? Your Majesty already knows about him? What's going on? How come your Majesty knows about him, but we didn't hear anything about him? Upon hearing the conversation between Long Dong Ping and Duan Lingtian, the people from the various mansions present on the scene were stunned. After a while, the people from the various mansions learned about Duan Lingtian's incident in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom in the past year. Realization dawned on them. When they looked at Duan Lingtian again, a hint of dread could be seen in their eyes. As soon as he arrived at the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he had injured the fourth miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shudong. The woman beside him had even killed an Earth Realm great overarching golden celestial of the Zhou clan. After that, the fourth prince came to find him, but because he had some misgivings, he did not dare to touch him. Later on, the third miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shuqiu, returned. Although she went to look for him, she didn't touch him. Instead, she asked her younger sister, Zhou Shudong, to apologize to him. The first two matters were nothing. However, the final matter was truly shocking. The third miss of the Zhou clan, Zhou Shuqiu, was someone whom even the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom feared. Although Zhou Shuqiu was his niece, his attitude toward Zhou Shuqiu was more like a subordinate flattering a superior. This could be seen from his attitude towards her just now. Even the third miss of the Zhou clan doesn't dare to touch him? With the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sects Intelligence Network, they must have found out about him. The fact that the third miss of the Zhou clan doesn't dare to touch him shows that he has an extraordinary background. He must have a powerful sect or clan backing him up. I think so too. If that's the case, it's not convenient for him to join the three major celestial sects of the wasteland, even if he participated in the grand contest of the wasteland, right? That's not necessarily the case. However, if he's from a powerful sect, it's definitely inconvenient for him to join one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. However, if he's from a powerful clan, it's fine for him to join one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. That's right. After all, there's a fundamental difference between a sect and a clan. In Surong Palace, after the people from the various mansions learned about what had happened to Duan Lingtian in the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, they began to discuss among themselves. They speculated that Duan Lingtian was from a powerful clan. Even the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect did not dare to offend that clan. Otherwise, why would Zhou Shuqiu, the third miss of the Zhou clan, be so polite to him? Sister, is he really from a powerful clan? Hearing the whispers of the crowd, Zhou family's fourth young Miss Zhou Shudong couldn't help but look at Zhou family's third young Miss Zhou Shuqiu and asked, Sort of. Zhou Shuqiu nodded indifferently. What else could she say at this moment? Could she say that she did not know anything? Chapter 2760. Upon hearing Zhou Shuqiu's reply, Zhou Shudong immediately informed Long Xiangyun, the fourth prince, of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. When Long Xiangyun heard about this, he immediately sent a voice transmission to his father, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Long Xiangyun was so enthusiastic because he wanted to show off in front of his father. After all, his presence in the selection was too weak. Is that so? Long Dongping, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, confirmed it through voice transmission. Long Dongping's expression changed when he looked at Duan Lingtian. I plan to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. Duan Lingtian looked at Long Dongping and said bluntly. He did not say much, but it was a reply to Long Dongping. After the Wasteland Grand Contest, he would join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. The Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. As soon as Duanling Tian finished speaking, apart from Long Dongping, the fourth prince, Long Xiangyun, and the seventh prince, Long Qingyun, were stunned. After all, it was not a good thing for Duanling Tian to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. The Martial Dragon Celestial Sect was the sect that ruled 13 high-rank celestial kingdoms, including the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. A single word from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect could decide who would become the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Moreover, Duanling Tian was close to Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, so they could not help but worry. Long Dongping, on the other hand, did not think too much about it. Since Duanling Tian intended to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, he did not have to worry about Duanling Tian participating in the selection because he wanted to help the 13th prince become the number 1 prince. As long as Duanling Tian was willing to join one of the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland after the Wasteland Grand Contest, it would be enough for Long Dongping. After all, he would be rewarded by the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland. The Wasteland Grand Contest held by the three major celestial sects of the Wasteland would give generous rewards to the celestial kingdoms of the Wasteland. This was especially true for the celestial kingdoms behind the young cultivators who were ranked at the top of the rankings. They would be rewarded handsomely. Since that's the case, the number 1 prince in today's selection is the 13th prince. After obtaining Duanling Tian's confirmation, Long Dongping looked at the 13th prince, Long Fei Yun, and said loudly in front of everyone. Just like that, it was decided that the prince would be the first. As Long Dongping's voice fell, some people were happy, while others were sad. The one who was delighted was naturally the 13th prince, Long Fei Yun. The 4th and 7th princes, Long Xiangyun and Long Qingyun, were worried that Duanling Tian would support their 13th brother, Long Fei Yun, after joining the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. That was something they didn't want to see. This was especially true for Long Qingyun. Initially, he thought that he would be able to obtain the first place in the selection by asking for Fengwu Jiguang from the Grand Prestige Mansion. However, he did not expect that Duanling Tian would appear out of nowhere and help his 13th brother take the first place that should have belonged to him. This made him both depressed and aggrieved. Martial Dragon Celestial Sect? He wants to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect? Upon hearing Duanling Tian's words, a slight frown appeared on Zhou Shuqiu's face. After all, if Duanling Tian were to stand out in the Wasteland Grand Contest, she hoped that Duanling Tian would join the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. After all, she would be able to keep an eye on Duanling Tian for her best friend, so that Duanling Tian would not be hunted down by the powerhouses from the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect. She did not expect Duanling Tian would want to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. Forget it. I'll think of a way to make him change his mind. At the very least, I'll ask Master to ask for him after the Wasteland Grand Contest ends. Zhou Shuqiu thought to herself. In her opinion, it would not be difficult for her master, the former sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect, to ask for Duanling Tian from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. The reason Zhou Shuqiu was so confident was due to her lack of knowledge about Duanling Tian's background. If she knew Duanling Tian was not only a great overarching golden celestial who was not even 100 years old, but he was also a prominent celestial alchemist who was not even 100 years old, she would not be so confident. I really didn't expect the 13th prince to be able to find such a young powerhouse to help him become the number 1 prince in the Wasteland Grand Contest. The 13th prince is really lucky. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tries, it's almost impossible for him to become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. That's not necessarily the case. Don't forget that the purple-clad young man said he wants to join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. If he joins the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and becomes a high-ranking official in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, it's not impossible for him to help the 13th prince become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Indeed, the 13th prince is really lucky. Perhaps there's no need for him to become a high-ranking official in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. As long as he catches the eye of one of the high-ranking officials in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and becomes their disciple, They'll be able to help the 13th prince ascend the throne with just a word from him. In the main hall of Shirong Palace, the people from the various manors were whispering to each other. They all felt that the 13th prince was lucky to have met a young genius like Duan Lingtian. There were even many people who thought, with the help of Duan Lingtian, the 13th prince might even become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. Although their voices were not loud, as a heaven-rank overarching heavenly supreme celestial, Long Dongping, the emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, could hear them clearly. However, he did not care about this. Although he didn't like the 13th prince and even felt that the 13th prince might not be his biological son, however, if the martial dragon celestial sect intervened and allowed the 13th prince to become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he would not object to it. After all, he was not 100% certain that the 13th prince was not his biological son. He just didn't want him to appoint the 13th prince as his successor, that was all. If the 13th prince could become the next emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom on his own, he would be proud of the 13th prince. 13th prince, since you've won the selection, I'll keep my promise and reward you with a Duke-grade celestial weapon, Long Dongping said bluntly as he looked at Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince. His voice was so loud that it drowned out the commotion in the hall. At this moment, everyone's attention was on Long Dongping and Long Fei Yun. Duke-grade celestial weapon. That's right. The imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom will reward the first prince with a Duke-grade celestial weapon. Even in the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, there are only a handful of Duke-grade celestial weapons. I wonder which Duke-grade celestial weapon His Majesty will give to the 13th prince? Currently, there are only 2 Duke-grade celestial weapons in the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, right? The 13th prince must be one of the 2 Duke-grade celestial weapons. Both of the Duke-grade celestial weapons are offensive celestial weapons. Regardless of which one it is, it'll be a joyous occasion for the 13th prince. The gazes that the group of people looked at Long Fei Yun were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. The 4th prince and the 7th prince, in particular, were so envious that their eyes were burning. The 4th prince was slightly better off, but the 7th prince was so angry that his body trembled violently. It was as though the 13th prince had taken away something precious from him. Father. Everyone thought Long Fei Yun would happily accept Long Dongping's reward. However, Long Fei Yun's expression turned solemn as he looked at Long Dongping solemnly. I don't want the Duke-grade celestial weapon. I'd like to ask for a prominent celestial pill cauldron instead of a Duke-grade celestial weapon. As soon as Long Fei Yun finished speaking, the entire place fell silent. Even Long Dongping was taken aback. A prominent celestial pill cauldron? Long Dongping was aware that Long Fei Yun wanted a prominent celestial pill cauldron. However, he was unaware of Long Fei Yun's desire for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. However, Long Fei Yun's words were akin to exchanging a prominent celestial pill cauldron for a Duke-grade celestial pill cauldron. Did I hear wrongly? The 13th prince said he doesn't want a Duke-grade celestial weapon? It's not just that. Based on his words, it seems like he wants to give up a Duke-grade celestial weapon in exchange for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. Is this a joke? Is he crazy? Although a prominent celestial pill cauldron is rare, it's only a prominent celestial weapon. It's not comparable to a Duke-grade celestial weapon. Isn't he making a loss by doing this? Perhaps he knows His Majesty doesn't want to give him a Duke-grade celestial weapon, so he's willing to exchange it for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. Is there a need for that? Who knows? When Long Fei Yun blurted out those words, there was an uproar in Shirong Palace. There were all sorts of comments. Is he crazy? At this moment, even the 4th prince and the 7th prince, Long Qingyun, were dumbfounded. They did not expect their 13th brother would do such a thing. Exchanging a Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron? In their opinion, only a fool would do such a thing. Are you sure you're willing to give up a Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron? Long Dongping looked at Long Fei Yun and asked solemnly, 13th brother, you have to think this through. Once this matter is confirmed, it'll be impossible for you to get your Duke-grade celestial weapon back. Father, I'm sure. I only want the prominent celestial pill cauldron, not the Duke-grade celestial weapon, Long Fei Yun said solemnly. 13th Prince, there's no need for that. At this moment, Duan Lingtian, who was standing on the stone platform in the middle of Surong Palace, flew back to Long Fei Yun's side and said, as long as I join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, I won't lack a prominent celestial pill cauldron. However, once you lose a Duke-grade celestial weapon, it'll be difficult for you to get it again. Duan Lingtian knew Long Fei Yun wanted the prominent celestial pill cauldron because he wanted to give it to him. Chapter 2761. Duan Lingtian was not stupid. When Long Fei Yun, the 13th Prince, asked the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom to exchange his Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron, Duan Lingtian knew Long Fei Yun was trying to get a prominent celestial pill cauldron for him. Brother Duan, there's still some time before the grand contest of the wasteland begins. I've already made up my mind. Long Fei Yun shook his head when he heard Duan Lingtian's words. He looked at his father, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, and said loudly, Father, I've already made up my mind. Please exchange my Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. Since you've already made up your mind, I'll fulfill your wish. After getting Long Fei Yun's confirmation, Long Dongping didn't say anything more and directly agreed. Initially, Duan Lingtian was reluctant to give a Duke-grade celestial weapon to his son. However, he had already announced that he would give a Duke-grade celestial weapon to the son of the young powerhouse who was ranked first among the princes. As the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, he could not take back his words. Now that he heard Long Fei Yun wanted to exchange his Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron, he was, naturally, more than happy to do so. Although a prominent celestial pill cauldron was precious to him, it could not compare to a Duke-grade celestial weapon. Most importantly, a prominent celestial pill cauldron was merely a decoration in the hands of the imperial family of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. However, a Duke-grade celestial weapon was different. At this moment, even if his son wanted to exchange the Duke-grade celestial weapon for two prominent celestial pill cauldrons, he would not hesitate to agree, let alone a single prominent celestial pill cauldron. With Long Dongping's words, the matter was settled. Long Fei Yun, the 13th Prince, took the initiative to ask for a prominent celestial pill cauldron instead of a Duke-grade celestial weapon that was supposed to be his reward. As soon as Long Dongping finished speaking, an uproar broke out in the main hall of Surong Palace. Heavens! Did the 13th Prince really exchange the Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron? Initially, I thought he would change his mind when His Majesty asked him about it. I didn't expect him to agree to exchange the Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. I really don't know what he's thinking. A high-grade pill cauldron doesn't seem to be of any use to him, right? Don't tell me he wants to use a prominent celestial pill cauldron to attract prominent celestial alchemists to work for him? You're thinking too much. A prominent celestial alchemist is a prominent celestial alchemist. How can a prominent celestial pill cauldron attract a prominent celestial alchemist? Exactly. Even a prominent celestial alchemist who had just obtained a prominent celestial fire and became a prominent celestial alchemist would not serve someone for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. It's too easy for a prominent celestial alchemist to obtain a prominent celestial cauldron. The group of people in the main hall of Surong Palace could not understand Long Fei Yun's actions. They felt Long Fei Yun must be crazy to make such a decision. From the beginning until the end, none of them thought Long Fei Yun wanted a prominent celestial pill cauldron because of a prominent celestial alchemist. In their opinion, even if Long Fei Yun had hundreds or thousands of prominent celestial pill cauldrons, it was impossible for him to attract a prominent celestial alchemist, let alone a prominent celestial pill cauldron. If they were prominent celestial alchemists, at the very least, they would join the three major celestial sects of the wasteland and become a guest elder or revered elder in one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. At that time, if they did not have a prominent celestial pill cauldron, the three major celestial sects of the wasteland would take the initiative to give them a prominent celestial pill cauldron. A prominent celestial pill cauldron might be precious in their eyes, but it was nothing compared to the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. I don't understand. I don't understand. Humph. What a fool. Does he think he'll be able to win Father's favor by doing this? How naive. At this moment, both Long Xiangyun, the fourth prince, and Long Qingyun, the seventh prince, felt their 13th brother was too foolish. However, even if they felt that their 13th brother was stupid, they didn't have any intention of reminding him from the beginning to the end. In fact, they were even secretly delighted. Why does he want a prominent celestial pill cauldron? Among the people present on the scene, the only one who was clear-headed was Zhou Shuqiu, the third miss of the Zhou clan. Zhou Shuqiu stared at Long Fei Yun in confusion. Based on her understanding of the 13th prince, she knew he was not a rash and impulsive person. It was impossible for him to do something so foolish. Could it be that he wants a prominent celestial pill cauldron for some reason? Zhou Shuqiu could not think of a reason for Long Fei Yun's actions. However, she was certain Long Fei Yun had his reasons for doing so. At this moment, Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, looked as though he was the only one who was sober when faced with the questioning gazes from the crowd. Naturally, he knew he was at a disadvantage. However, he did not regret it. Firstly, he'd promised Duan Lingtian that he'd find a high-grade celestial artifact cauldron for Duan Lingtian, but he'd gone back on his word. So, he could only do this to remedy the situation. Secondly, he had promised Duan Lingtian that he would find Duan Lingtian a high-grade celestial artifact cauldron. He had to do this in order to build a good relationship with Duan Lingtian. In his opinion, it was worth it to use a Duke-grade celestial artifact to further befriend Duan Lingtian. This 13th prince, Duan Lingtian, could naturally guess Long Fei Yun's intentions, but even so, he had no choice but to accept Long Fei Yun's favor. However, it was just as Long Fei Yun had said. There was still some time before the Wasteland Grand Contest. Even if he managed to obtain a prominent celestial pill cauldron in the future, he would have to wait for some time. Unless he went to the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and revealed his identity as a prominent celestial alchemist. Perhaps. I've chosen the wrong path from the beginning. There's no need for me to participate in today's selection or the Wasteland Grand Contest. Suddenly, a thought flashed in Duan Lingtian's mind. Even if I don't participate in today's selection, I can still join the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect as a prominent celestial alchemist. As long as I ask, not only will I be able to obtain a prominent celestial pill cauldron, but the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect will also be willing to give me a few Duke-grade celestial weapons. Moreover, it won't be difficult for me to enter the little world left behind by a celestial king and fulfill my promise to Brother Pei. Naturally, Duan Lingtian did not think too much about it, because he did not expect to become a prominent celestial alchemist in such a short time. Forget it. Since I've chosen the Wasteland Grand Contest, I'll just continue on this path. Since I have a prominent celestial pill cauldron, I can start refining prominent celestial pills. With this thought in mind, Duan Lingtian decided not to dwell on it any longer. After Long Dongping, the Emperor of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, spoke. The selection continued. Soon after, the first prince was selected. The first place in the King Mansion was taken by a young expert from a king mansion called the Sky Song King Mansion. This young expert was the strongest among the Indigo Sun Golden Immortals, who were less than 100 years old, who had shown up today. However, he was still a far cry from Fengwu Jiguang. Damn it! If I knew the 13th prince had such a trump card, I wouldn't have lent Fengwu Jiguang to the 7th prince. Now, not only did he fail to become the prince, but he also failed to become the prince. The prince of the Grand Prestige Mansion was a middle-aged man with a curly beard. At this moment, his face was so gloomy that it looked like it could drip water. Duan Lingtian had lent Fengwu Jiguang to the 7th prince because he wanted Fengwu Jiguang to help the 7th prince obtain first place in the selection. However, now that Fengwu Jiguang had failed to become the prince's champion, his plan to befriend the 7th prince had failed. The problem was, Fengwu Jiguang, who was supposed to become the champion of the Grand Prestige Mansion, had gone to the 7th prince's side. Due to this, He was no longer qualified to help the Grand Prestige Mansion. This made the king of the Grand Prestige Mansion extremely frustrated. As the first prince and first prince's mansion were decided one after another, today's selection came to an end. Before leaving Serene Palace, Long Fei Yun, the 13th prince, had obtained the prominent celestial pill cauldron and passed it to Duan Lingtian. "Thank you, 13th prince." Duan Lingtian did not hesitate and put the prominent celestial pill cauldron away. After all, this was what he needed. After obtaining the prominent celestial pill cauldron, Duan Lingtian no longer wanted to stay in Serene Palace. He wanted to return to the 13th prince's residence as soon as possible to refine prominent celestial pills. However, before he could leave, he was stopped by someone. As it turns out, the 13th prince exchanged the Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron for you. The person who stopped Duan Lingtian was none other than Zhou Shuqiu, the third miss of the Zhou clan. Moreover, Zhou Shuqiu was standing in front of Duan Lingtian and the others. Zhou Shuqiu stared at Duan Lingtian intently as she spoke. "You're so interested in me. Is it because you're interested in me like your sister? Do you want to bring me back to the Zhou clan and the Thousand Spiders celestial sect to be your boy toy?" Duan Lingtian asked meaningfully as he stared at Zhou Shuqiu. "Tui." Zhou Shuqiu, who had a serious expression on her face, turned red with anger when she heard Duan Lingtian's words. She glared at Duan Lingtian. "Nothing good comes out of a filthy mouth." Zhou Shuqiu looked at Duan Lingtian and said, "Duan Lingtian, I hope you'll consider joining the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect after the Wasteland Grand Contest." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.